Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Monday. I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report, and coming up on today's show, I got 3 fun segments for everybody that's tuning in to today's show, and also on top of that, we got our final 3 games of our March Madness tournament. Somebody is going home with $1,600 here on today's episode. Now, since it is Monday, I'm not going to be consuming any alcohol, so to anybody that you see your jerseys, the only way I'm doing any alcohol whatsoever, as always, is if we hit the gong here on the Raiders Report. But, I got a serious question because if you don't know, there was a solar eclipse today. And, Jeremy, I want you to be able to chime in here on this also because I did not anticipate that it would be as cool as what it was. It was unbelievable. And my question to all of you out there is, did you watch the eclipse? Give me a yes, give me a no. Here in Dallas, we had the full eclipse, and it was unbelievable.
I mean, something like I've never seen before. It was the entire city was dark for 4 minutes. It was legit like somebody flipped a light switch.
I actually did not think it'd be as cool as what it was.
Yeah.
I was also picturing Chuck's just chilling at home what is going on right now? What is it? It must be dinner time. I don't know. I mean, it was unbelievable.
But the complete darkness, because we had the full eclipse. We were in the radius here in Dallas. It was insane. We had 4 minutes of it was just dark outside.
Yeah, Jamora said here in SoCal only got partial 40%. Luis Rodriguez, I thought it was in 20 years. So for Dallas, it's never going to happen again. That's why Jeremy said 300 years. There are some places in the U.S. where in 2044 it's supposed to happen.
Like a full total solar eclipse?
I'd be lying to say I know.
I thought from what I thought, this was going to be the most full eclipse that we would see until 300 years from now.
Yeah, I remember a date of 2044, but I thought it was in some different locations. I mean, the full eclipse was really cool. I remember back in 2017, we got a partial eclipse here, but for the entire city to be pitch black, I put out a photo on Instagram and on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. If you guys want to check out one of the photos that I posted, I mean, it literally looks like it's midnight. It's really, really freaking cool. But what up, Sancho, Luis Rodriguez, all here watching 2044. Yeah, it'll cross again from Luis Rodriguez. I mean, I would say it's good to say that, but then you just never know, man. 20 years from now, I hope I'm around, but then again, you never know. All right, let's talk a little bit of Raiders football coming up here on the show because I do have a lot of stuff to get into. We are going to get into some of the latest going on around the silver and black. We're going to talk about some offensive tackles today. I'm going to tell you what player I believe is the most likely to be traded. And then we did get an update from Cowherd on Jayden Daniels. We'll talk about that a little bit. But one of the segments here is the top offensive tackle targets for the silver and black. And I do think that the main question that surrounds are the Raiders going to draft an offensive tackle this year is, what is your confidence level on Munford? If you're very confident that Munford could be a everyday starting right tackle for this team, then you probably don't need to go out and address an offensive tackle at pick 13, at pick 44. If you're not confident in Munford, well, then I think that it has to be one of the biggest needs out there. And, I know he can be good.
Yeah.
But right now, knowing that the NFL draft is a few weeks away.
And this isn't going to help your case either. I would give it about a 7, which isn't a glowing vote of confidence either way, I feel like. It's
See, I think if you're 7 out of 10 on a guy, you don't spend pick 13.
Yeah. I mean, I say at worst, I don't think Thayer Munford goes in and is the worst tackle in the league. I think worse for him would be he comes in and he's ranked out of 32, he's 23, 24.
Yeah, I mean, if he can just be an average right tackle, you're probably okay. Right now, for me personally, I'm probably somewhere around a 5 or a 6 on Munford, probably closer to that 5 area just because I know he could be a good player. But then again, am I willing to bet essentially on a Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell with a bad right tackle? That does make me a little bit nervous.
I get you. You know what I have full confidence in, though?
Let me hear it.
The Game Time app.
Yeah, I love me some Game Time.
I mean, if you're talking full confidence, the full boat of confidence I have in a ticketing app, It'd be Game Time.
I mean,
because you don't have to worry about the events today, the events in 2 hours, the events in an hour.
Yeah.
Game Time has you covered with last-second tickets and
the lowest price guaranteed.
It's at the lowest price guaranteed, Mitch. I don't know if you knew that.
I actually have used Game Time. I used it on Friday. For those that don't know, if you watched our Friday happy hour show, I ended up using it to get some tickets to the Mavs-Warriors game, which was an unbelievable game. And I was able to get those tickets, I want to say like 4 hours right before tip-off, and got them almost like 50% off. So if you're watching this right now and you're like, I want to go to some events this off season, download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS. If you don't know how that's spelled, it's CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. But no matter what city you're in, like I've been talking a lot about cities today because of the eclipse, but if you're in Dallas, you can look up events in Dallas, Las Vegas. You can look up anywhere.
UFC 300.
Dude, UFC 300. That's what, this weekend? Or is it next weekend?
That's this weekend.
This weekend, UFC 300. If you want to go to that, look up tickets right now. We've put the links for you guys down in the comments and down in the description of today's show. So go check it out. Chat Sports promo code for $20 off. All right, y'all. Let's keep rolling through. I see we got a few super chats.
This one coming from 93 Navman.
What up, Navman? You forced me to get an IG account. Damn it. I mean, I think to stay up to date on everything that's going on around the Raiders, but then also like things that are just going on in people's lives, like staying up to date. Like I like to see that kind of stuff. And it is also one of the easier ways for Jeremy and I to get in contact with people that watch this show. So I'm glad you made one. Rebel said, see Ron Raspberry's message. Grats to the daughter. I see Ron said,
I have it right here.
My daughter is going to be a cheerleader with the Raiderettes this year. She practices with them at their facility, then at the Raiders practice field, 2 games for preseason, 1 regular game at least.
That's dope.
Dude, that's really sick, man. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to your daughter. I mean, being a Raiderette, there's not many, are they dancers? Like, what are they called exactly? Cheerleaders? Like, the Raiderettes have changed, but
it would be
the cheerleader.
A dance squad.
But, like, there's not as many that are as legendary as the Raiders. Like, I remember the first time I went to Oakland back in 2019.
Yeah.
I met the original Raiderettes.
How hot were they?
Back in their day? I mean, honestly, like, even now, like, they were still very attractive women.
Yeah, I'm like, right now.
I mean, they were very attractive women. I don't want to say their age or my guess at their age because I feel like that's not something my mom would want me to do, like tell her age out in public. But they were probably around the same age as my mom, I would imagine.
So let's say your confidence level in the original Raiderettes that you saw, 1 to 10.
What?
Scale them 1 to 10.
I'm not scaling them.
Your confidence level.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. No. No, we're not doing that. Yeah, back in 2019, I met some OG Raiderettes. It was at a black hole party at a hotel, which I forget what the hotel was. It was a good party. I'm not answering the scale to 1 to 10. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. All right, y'all, we got 550 people here tuned into today's show. Since we are going to be talking about some of the top offensive tackle prospects that are out there, type D for draft, type P for pass. Will the Raiders draft an offensive tackle this year? Like, if you're somebody that answered that question and you are very confident in Thayer Munford, I would say that you're probably answering I still would have liked to imagine they draft one. It's just a matter of which round does it happen in.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not confident in Munford, you're drafting a tackle, I think, in round 1, 2, or 3. If you are confident, you're going to wait until day 3.
Yeah.
Unless there is like a certain prospect, which we'll talk about. There's one prospect in particular that I really like that you could get probably on day 3. Well, it's also a bit of a pairing move in that regard, but also some random NFL news. The Falcons signed veteran cornerback Kevin King. He just got a brand new deal. I would kill for an actual like Raiders move today. I've been waiting for the Raiders to do something for a long time.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like
the last time they did something was the first day, legitimately was Wilkins and Gardner Minshew.
I feel like, though, it's the price you pay for a certain point with making one of the biggest moves of the offseason.
Sure.
Like when you sign a guy like Christian Wilkins, that's like
$5.
Huge portion of the budget.
Yeah, there's a lot of D's in the chat from Zon. I see Brian, Mr. Sancho, Todd, Vincenzo. What up, Mikey D? Dodgers, everything. Anthony says, what's up? Which I do think it's interesting. Dodgers, everything said it does depend if we trade up or not, which I kind of agree with that statement as well, because if you have to trade up, remember back on Thursday's live show, I talked about one of my buddies who is connected with the Dolphins told me that the Raiders tried to trade up with Miami. They offered pick 44, 77, 112 to try to get pick 21. The Dolphins said no to that. If the Raiders try to do a trade like that, and then there goes, let's just say, your first 4 picks all to a quarterback, well, then that might change your plans on offensive tackle, because even though I'm not 100% confident in Munford, there's not another offensive tackle that I would rather the Raiders draft in rounds 5, 6, and 7 that I think are better and can start over Munford. So,
and, Venom Sosa.
What's up? Coming up here live on today's show, we're going to get into some news and rumors. Bleacher Report thinks that the Raiders should sign a player. I'll get into that. Also, there's some big news around Jayden Daniels that happened today, which we'll talk about. I then thought about doing a segment around who is the most likely player on the Raiders to get traded this offseason. Like, if I were to bet my money on one guy, who would it be? I'll talk about him in just a minute. And then 10 offensive tackles to target in the NFL draft. Those are the 3 segments that we got coming up here on the Raiders Report, sponsored by Game Time. On top of that, though, we are going to be giving away $1,600 today. I will say to the winner, so either David Zahn, Jose Corona, Troy Williams, or James Guevara, the Venmo is not going to come from me. It's going to come from my boss, James. So just when you're on the lookout from it, you're going to see it from the CEO of Chat Sports, James Yoder. And you might not get it like right away as soon as you win, because I have to send him the winner's information, and he wanted to be able to document it for just, I guess, purposes. I don't know. And then he'll send you the money in 24 hours.
I think it's because he wanted to eat with whoever the winner was. Take him out to dinner, bring him in. Maybe.
There's going to be opportunities this upcoming season for you to have dinner with Jeremy Chuggs and I out in Las Vegas. At least I'm pretty damn confident about it. But David Zahn, Jose Corona, Troy Williams, James Guevara. We got 3 races to do today. Somebody's going to go home with $1,600.
We actually have 4, because if you want to enter in a race as well, we're doing a 50-50 raffle at the very end of today's show. So if you like what you see with our March Madness races, and you're like, damn, I wish I could get into a race too.
I want in.
Enter me.
Enter me. There is one more thing that I have to say also. We did our live show on Friday, and we're going to do a Zoom call on Wednesday, and I had a bunch of people send me an email. If this is like ringing a bell in your mind, like, oh shit, I didn't send Mitch my email. To me, those of you that know who you are, you should know who you are. If you don't, you don't type of thing, go back and relook at it. But the emails that I have for Wednesday, I'm going to send them out today after today's live show, which I'm not going to give away the whole email, just so you guys know. I got Raider Fan, I got Jamari Murray, I got Matt Lozano's, I got Jay Magna's, I got Can't Walks, Justin Abjins, I have Cameron Abbott's, I have Navman's, I have Buddy Bears, and I have Zahn. To me, the other emails that I am still waiting on, and if I say this, you're like, Mitch, you missed mine, message me on Venmo. That way I can, clarify it. Venthrak, Ultra VAB, Rebel, and Patrick B are the only other emails that I need. Essentially what we're doing is a Zoom call on Wednesday instead of local. So if you want a chance to get in, 50-50 raffle, $20 Venmo to win. We're going to do that at the very end of today's show. Let's go to Navman. This winner better be banging after the race. I'd be highly disappointed.
I don't want to put that on them, because
I agree.
They already put in the money. However they want to spend their winnings, go ahead and do it. Like if I was in Vegas and I won on a blackjack table, I would want to spend that money however I want.
I agree.
Fit,
I agree. And if they want to do something, obviously it's their money, right? Like they can do whatever they want with it.
Called J.G. Wentworth.
But then there's also that part of they're not going to get the money like right away because I don't have the money. My boss does, so he's going to send it. So it's like, do you spend it before you get it?
Oh.
I'll say this:
well,
if they do want to spend it, I'd rather you do it on Friday happy hour.
Also, are all 4 people here? Because I see James Guevara, I see David Zahn. We figured out who the third person was the other day.
Yeah, JC does it.
JC does it was the third one.
Yep, Philip Bogert's in. Jamari Murray is in, and then Rick Hand is in for the duck race, which right now, $20 Venmo, you would win $30. Not $1,600, but hey, still something. Birdman, brother, let me just say we all appreciate what you do. Sometimes you go overboard and get mad at some weird stuff, but that shows the passion you have. Birdman, I appreciate that. I definitely feel like in the last week or so, just because I talked about the Dak Prescott trade, that the whole Prescott trade got blown out of proportion. Everybody thought I made it, and your name gets dragged through the mud a little bit. And not that I care about what trolls say, but there is that part of I'm always going to defend my name because I think anybody would. But I appreciate that a lot. I know there's a lot of passion here. I know that's why I love this fan base. It's why I feel like I'm a Raider fan. But believe me when I tell you, messages like this do go a long way. So Birdman Group, cheers to you. Eric, Colin Cowherd just said Jayden to Commanders is a lock. We'll talk about what Colin Cowherd said, and we'll talk about some of his misses, some of his, things that he said that have hit before, and this is going to be a topic that we discuss, so that's going to be coming up here on today's show. Chuggs, I say we get into this one.
I say
we got
do.
603 people tuned in live to the Raiders Report. The March Madness races are going to be at the very, very, very end of today's show, so be all on the lookout for that. My dad's in the chat. What's up, Dad? My dad was super, super hyped about the solar eclipse today. Made me get glasses for the entire office.
Richie, how was it?
I mean, my dad drove, what? How far did you drive? 5-6 hours today?
Was it everything you hoped for?
Raider Josh, you in.
Rich, what if I told you drove 5 hours and 2 people in this office wouldn't walk 10 minutes?
No, I don't know if you should tell him that. He's not going to be happy. He's not going to be happy.
I couldn't believe it.
Oh, man. All right, y'all. Let's get into the Commanders comment.
I can't wear anything on here.
Yeah, I know.
I just wear what I wear during the day. I'm just wearing normal polos. No matter what I wear, it's some other color. If it's not black. The only color I can wear on here is black.
Brutal.
And I get crucified if I wear a yellow or a red, or I can't wear green because
the green.
I'll just be a floating head.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. People are gonna hate.
I was like,
anything. I saw somebody the other day.
This is like not even Commanders maroon.
I saw today on Twitter. Somebody got a screenshot of when I had to make a Saints video. This is probably 4 years ago, and I made a Saints video, and I had my Chat Sports shirt on, and they were like, "This guy makes Saints videos just like what's his name?" And I was like, "Y'all, that's 4 years ago." And you got to do what you got to do to make a company. But all right, let's go. I want to get into some news and rumors. First one's going to be around game time.
I think I upset your dad with telling him about
There were 2 people at Chat Sports that did not leave the office because, and I quote, "not that big of a deal."
Do we bring one of them on?
No, you don't want to oust them.
Do we dox them?
Nah. What up, Alfredo? What up, fellas? Been off for a while, but hopefully I didn't miss nothing of importance. Keep going, fellas. Love the show. I mean, I think that you always miss things, right? Like, if you don't watch this show every day, you will miss a few things. However, like, has anything, like, major happened in the last 3 weeks? No. But, like, if you're a rumors follower, if you like to kind of read the tea leaves and see what's happening in the NFL, then my answer to that is yes, you should try to watch this show every day. But then again, I get people, they're busy. All right, I want to give a shout-out here to Jermaine Fleeton, you in, and then 93 Navman is also in this duck race, which means $20 Venmo for a shot to win $60 as it stands right now. All right, to the 700 people, let's talk a little bit of news and rumors coming up here on the Raiders Report. And I got some fun segments today for y'all, so hopefully you guys are ready for a fun show. Ready? Ready? Let's get this thing going right now. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, should the Silver and Black sign Dalton Risner? Bleacher Report has recently linked the offensive guard to the Silver and Black, and I'll tell you whether or not it makes sense for AP and Telesco to go out and get him. I do have a little bit of a top 30 visit update. I'll tell you which player did visit the Raiders and why I think it's kind of notable here for this organization. Are the Raiders going to be signing a quarterback today? There's some speculation out there that might be the case. And then if anybody wants the Raiders to draft Jayden Daniels, I'll tell you, I got some bad news from Colin Cowherd to take a deep dive on. Now, I am trying to get to 168,000 subscribers here on the Raiders Report. My goal by the NFL draft was 169,000. I thought it'd be a nice number to get to right before the big day. But hey, I continuously put out videos. Chuggs and I cover live content, but we're also giving away $1,600 today, I think, to the nation. So if you want to be a part of something a lot bigger than a normal YouTube channel, if you feel like I bleed silver and black, and when I say I'm talking to all of y'all, subscribe for videos every day. Help us get to 168,000 subs. Let's go to this story here around Dalton Risner and in an article written by Bleacher Report titled, "One Free Agent Still in the Market Who Can Help Each NFL Team in 2024. The player that was linked to Las Vegas was Risner because, let's face it, the Las Vegas Raiders do need an offensive guard. Whether you want to say that they need a right guard or whether you want to say an offensive guard in general, because I do think that there's a chance with Dylan Parham's flexibility that you might be able to kick him over to the right side if you wanted the left guard. Here's what Bleacher Report had to say on the Raiders signing Risner. The Raiders needed a starting guard before releasing DJ Fluker on Friday. So that need intensifies now that Fluker is no longer in the building and Jordan Meredith is currently penciled in as a first stringer. Meredith only has one start in 2 seasons, so Las Vegas would be wise to bring in another veteran. Risner is probably the team's best option at the stage in the game as he has 5 years of starting experience. The only problem is he's exclusively played right guard, so either he or Dylan Parham will have to switch sides at the center, but at least this gives the Silver and Black another quality player in the trenches. My take on everything that Bleacher Report said, first off, Bleacher Report is wrong. Risner is a left guard. So I know Bleacher Report said he's played right guard. The last 5 seasons, he's played left guard. So Parham, Risner, they got to be able to make a decision on who would end up playing right guard. I'll also say that DJ Fluker was never in line to start, and them saying that he was going to be the starting option to me just says that they weren't really paying attention to the depth chart. Like, yeah, there might have been a point where Fluker was listed as the starting right guard, but nobody that legitimately follows this team thought that he was ever going to be the starting right guard option. I will admit with this idea, and this has been an idea that I've thrown out there before, and I've said before that I like the idea. But the Raiders, you could sign Risner, you put him at left guard, and then you decide to kick Dylan Parham over to the right side. So here's going to be a question that I want each and every one of y'all to answer, and it's going to be the pinned comment on today's show, which means you're about to get hit with the YouTube ad break. While the ad is playing, please let it play. Helps Chuggs and I out. Scroll on down. Give me your answer. Give me a yes. Give me a no. Should the Raiders sign Dalton Risner? My answer to the question of whether or not the Raiders should sign Dalton Risner is yes. I believe that the right guard options are a little bit limited for the Silver and Black. On top of that, we talk so much about the quarterback position and whether that starting quarterback is going to be an Aiden O'Connell, a Gardner Minshew, or a rookie this upcoming season. We need to make sure that our offensive line is as solid as humanly possible. And if you do plan on drafting a quarterback early on, you might not have the ability to go out and get some extra talent in the 2024 NFL draft to build that interior line, to build the line in general. But coming up here, I got even more reasons and more in-depth analysis of why, if I'm the Las Vegas Raiders, I do go out and I sign Dalton Risner. That's all coming up here in just a moment. Before I give you some more in-depth look at why it makes sense for AP and Telesco to sign him, I do got to give a shout-out to today's sponsor, Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And I've been talking about Game Time for a while, and I know a lot of people that watch the show have probably heard of them, hopefully have used this app. And if you haven't, I want you to download the Game Time app. Create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Buying tickets to your favorite events, it shouldn't be stressful, and I want you to be able to get the tickets that you want without the stress, and that's where Game Time can help you out. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, theater events near you with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guaranteed. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Obviously, terms apply, but if you can create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, which is CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I was live on the show on Friday, and Friday happy hour kicked my butt, there's no doubt. But I also said that I bought tickets to the Mavs game. It was Mavs-Warriors, which, crazy enough, maybe it's not crazy that Raider fans are Warriors fans, but I did run into a Raiders fan at the game, and he was like, yo, watch your show all the time. It was a really cool experience. And to me, being able to go to that game was fun, especially because it was a hell of a basketball game. I want to say it was like 106-104. But then I'm also going to have that memory of me running into somebody that watches my show, that enjoys the Raiders Report. So because of that memory, these tickets were absolutely worth it. And I got them 4 hours before tip-off and probably got them 40%, 50% less of what they were the day before. Why? Because I waited to the last minute. Game Time knows that they don't want to just have empty seats, so they got to fill them because I'm going to buy a beer. I'm going to buy some food, and I'm going to spend money while I'm there. And if you're like me and you're like waiting to the last minute, this is the place for you. So promo code CHATSPORTS, $20 off. That link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. So should the Raiders sign Dalton Risner? My answer to this question is yes, because, again, I want to be able to make sure that our offensive line, no matter which quarterback we have, is solidified. And with 4,518 snaps at left guard in a 5-year career, you have the ability to kick Dylan Parham over to right guard. Munford there is probably going to be on your right side as well. He also has some of that AFC West experience, which Tom Telesco has said that he values from 2019 to 2022. The other option of this is it's not going to cost you a lot of money. Like, Risner continuously plays on relatively cheap deals. Like, he didn't sign last year until really, really late in the year. And he was still a good enough player from top to bottom. I mean, look at his PFF numbers here. 745 snaps, a 57.1 overall grade. Like, I understand that some of you are like, oh, it's not very good. But then also on top of that, look at the quarterback play that Minnesota had last season after Kirk Cousins was out. Like, I don't want to fall into a similar situation, but the quarterback situation was not great in Minnesota. A good pass blocking grade. Yeah, the run blocking grade's not all that terrific, but you like to believe next to Andre James, next to Colton Miller, you'd be able to help out. On top of that, I have said this over and over and over again, where I don't want the Raiders just be like, oh, Dylan Parham's a left guard, we need to find a right guard. Dalton Risner is the best offensive guard available right now on the free agent market, and I don't really think it's all that close. Like, you could look at some other options this year in the draft. Zinter's not even going to play this season. Like, Phil Haynes, Dylan McCann, Trey Turner, Landon Robinson. I don't want any of those guys starting at right guard in year one. Like, you could go with Mark Lewinsky, but Mark Lewinsky and Dylan Parham is not stronger than Dalton Risner and Dylan Parham. Like Greg Van Roten, I don't know if he's going to be coming back. And then sure, you could look at your two best right guard options in Christian Mahogany and Christian Haynes in the draft, but then that also means you're going to have to take Haynes probably at pick 44 or 77, and Mahogany's more of a round 4, round 5 guy, but are you going to trust somebody like that to pair next to Thayer Munford? Because that's the other part of this equation. You're going to take one of those offensive linemen and put him next to Thayer Munford. That's putting a lot of pressure on your right side of your offensive line. Do I think that most of those players are better than Jordan Meredith? Yes. Do I want Jordan Meredith starting? No, I do not. Of course I don't. But what I don't want is the Raiders to just say, oh, we need a right guard, and they're only looking at the right side, where they could sign a left guard in Risner and then kick Parham over to the right side and create just a little bit more flexibility. So let's just play a game here. Let's say Raiders watch this video, they go out, they sign Risner probably to a $4 million, $5 million contract per year, and then you have Colton Miller, Risner at left guard, Andre James at center, Dylan Parham at right guard, Thayer Munford at right tackle. If this was your week 1 starting offensive line, how confident would you be in it? I want you to scale it from me from 1 to 10. 1 being, you're not confident at all in this. 10 being, it's the best offensive line in the National Football League. My answer would be a solid 7. And There's still offensive lines that I believe are better. I don't think it's one of the worst offensive lines by any of the stretch of the imagination. I do think that James Craig can get the most out of this unit. Like, if Carmen Brasilla was still here with the Raiders, who I still will say is probably one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL, he left to go to the Giants. We have Craig, who was with the Niners the last 2 seasons, and then the year before that did a hell of a job at LSU. Like, I do think James Craig can be a good offensive line coach. However, though, he's not as good as Brasillo, and there is still some mixing and matching. But, like, that offensive line is probably a top 10 unit in the league. Let's go to some stories here. Top 30 visits as promised. The Silver and Black over the weekend, maybe not over the weekend, it might have been Friday or Thursday, did meet with Jaden Hicks, safety, and this doesn't technically count as, it doesn't count as a top 30 visit, because if you remember, you're allowed to have as many local visits as you want. It's just top 30 visits don't consider Jaden Hicks because he's there in Las Vegas. But what's interesting is we don't really look at safety as being a big-time need, I think, for the Raiders. But Hicks has said that he would love to play for the Raiders. Our team at Chat Sports had the opportunity to talk to him at the NFL Combine, grew up a Raiders fan. So, like, there's definitely a big pull of, yeah, it'd be kind of dope, man, to get him into the room. Tom Pelissero also said that he's going to be meeting with the Browns and the Jets. So just something to kind of throw out there. But as you can see, it is confirmed by Pelissero that Jaden Hicks is meeting with the Las Vegas Raiders. The next story coming up here on the show is around the Raiders potentially signing a quarterback. And I talked about him last week because himself, it has not been confirmed by a, I'll call it, reliable source. Now, I do know that he worked out on Friday, and I'm not going to sit up here and say MLF is a reliable source. They provide content. That's what they do. But they said former Ohio State and Gannon quarterback Corey Curtis and the Las Vegas Raiders have strong mutual interest in getting a deal done after his workout on Friday. League sources tell MLF. I'm telling you, based on me trying to connect the dots, I'm guessing that this Corey Curtis guy is telling MLF because these two have been kind of going back and forth on social media of, I think Curtis is just saying, oh, yeah, the workout went really well, and they're interested in signing me. When I would be shocked if the Raiders signed Corey Curtis, and if you don't know who he is, like, he is working out with 5 NFL teams. He did apparently look pretty good at his Big 12 Pro Day. Curtis stated that he does have a private workout with the Raiders on Friday, the same day as that Bo Nix was there last week. But, like, this is a West Texas Desert Hawk quarterback. He played college football at Ohio State. When I say played, he was on the roster. He's really only played at Bryant and at Gannon. He does have a strong arm at 6'3", 230 pounds, but, like, you're talking about practice squad is the ceiling, right? If practice squad is the ceiling, I'm not really sure how likely it is that you're going to bring Corey Curtis in. To me, there's a story going out there. I think it is more of somebody just saying, yeah, the workout went really well. We have mutual interest. But the mutual interest is really just on one side. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, got some bad news around Jayden Daniels, man. I've always been hopeful that the Raiders could get him, but my hope has definitely gone down a little bit after some words that were said today on Colin Cowherd's show. And if you haven't seen it, I encourage anyone to go out there. But the bad news around Jayden Daniels, man, like, it definitely sucks. Like, there's no doubt about it. We'll get to it in a second, but for those that do not know, for those of you who are watching live, we have our final 4 today on the Raiders Report. One of David Zahn, Jose Corona, Troy Williams, James Guevara. One of these 4 people are going to win $1,600. And if you watch this show and you're not watching it live, go check out our live show to see who ended up winning the $1,600. But appreciate all 64 people that entered. Good luck to every one of y'all, because if I could give $1,600 to all y'all, I'd have to spin Gimmel, but some of y'all get that joke, some of you won't. Good luck to each and every one of you. Let's get into the show now around Jayden Daniels. And according to Colin Cowherd, Jayden is essentially a lock to go to the Washington Commanders at 2. He said if the draft were to be today, their pick would be Jayden. The reason why I do find this to be notable is because Cowherd clearly has somebody in the Commanders like that he's very, very close to. He's got somebody. He was on top of the Cliff Kingsbury backing out of the Raiders deal and Cliff going to Washington deal. He was right on top of that. He's been very tuned in with, I think, the whole Caleb Williams story, which then also kind of went back to the Commanders, if you remember, because they ended up getting Cliff Kingsbury. To me, Colin Cowherd has somebody that he talks to that is very well connected to the Commanders. And for Cowherd to say that he believes if the draft were to be today and that the the Commanders would take Jayden Daniels at number 2 overall. I hear that, and I do think that it's a very legit chance now that Jayden goes number 2. Obviously, still a lot of stuff can change. There's still a lot of smoke and fire, and that's going to be what happens over the NFL draft. But Cowherd's got somebody that he knows with the Commanders, and for him to say that, my hopes of him being in silver and black have definitely gone down a little bit. If you haven't already, make sure you make an Instagram. Shout out to Nabman, who finally made one. Also, don't be afraid to hit up Chuggs and I on Twitter. I'm at Mitchell Renz. He's at Jeremy Chuggs. We do our best to keep you guys up to date on all things going on around the Raiders, on all things going on in our lives. And if you didn't see the solar eclipse, I put out a really cool picture on IG and on Twitter. I put them on my story. I mean, we had a full solar eclipse here in Dallas. Let me know if you guys watched it. My dad drove 5-6 hours, I want to say, to go watch the eclipse. Now, he's a little crazy, but it was still one of the coolest experiences I have ever seen. And if you want to see what Chuggs and I saw, because for it to be 1:40 in the afternoon and for it to be pitch black is something that I will remember for the rest of my life. So if you want to go see it, hit me up, social media. I think you guys would enjoy it. All right, Jeremy, big game tonight, which I'm not going to lie, I totally forgot was even going on until I just saw this graphic. Who you got, Purdue or UConn? Who are you going with? I'll say this. I've been drastically wrong on Purdue, but I'm also pissed at myself that I could have picked UConn.
Might be a hot take. Might be that I'm just been spoiled over the past years. Is this the worst March Madness we've ever had?
No. Oh, you mean title game or in general?
I think in general. Like, there haven't been any buzzer beaters.
I will admit, not a lot of great buzzer beaters.
A lot of games have not been close. We've had a couple good games, but
I don't totally disagree with you.
I feel
but we also had an 11 seed make it to the Final Four. Like, that's pretty cool.
Well, last year we had multiple. We had like FAU and San Diego State made the Final Four.
I agree with it more of the idea because we didn't have many good buzzer beaters.
I feel like you need, like, tonight's game has to end in a buzzer beater for me to change my mind. You need at least one buzzer beater in a March Madness tournament for it to be considered a good one in my eyes. You have to.
Okay. I mean, that's definitely like what I think about for March.
It's like if you went to a Mavs game and Luka didn't hit a single three-point shot.
I mean, I went to the Mavs game on Friday. He didn't even play.
Or if no
won.
Or if no Mavs hit three-point shots. All twos.
Like, imagine if, like, there was an NBA game in recent memory where a team shot 29 three-pointers and didn't make any of them.
It would suck. No one would like that.
That would be a brutal game.
It would be awful.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's a hot take.
I'm really looking forward to this game, though. I think UConn wins by double digits.
Smitty's our college basketball guy. Is this a hot take by me? Worst March Madness in recent memory of, like, exciting games, like storylines and whatnot. Like, I feel like this has just been a very,
I don't know.
Like,
unless we don't get a 10 out of 10 banger tonight.
That's what I said. If the game doesn't end in a buzzer beater tonight, this is.
Yeah, we need like UConn.
I don't know. That run by the Bonnies was pretty good.
That wasn't even in the tournament.
This would be like, if UConn blows out Purdue, this would be like the vanilla ice cream of March Madness tournaments. Yeah, it would be like, it's not cookies and cream. It's not anything else. This is like the most vanilla, plain Jane. Can I get no veggies, no sauce on my burger, just meat and cheese?
This is from somebody whose team lost in the Sweet 16. So.
Well, no, even with that, I just feel like the tournament.
You're telling me if Houston's in the title game tonight, you're still going to say that this is the worst March Madness tournament of all time? I
mean, yeah, if all the other games sucked.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Hey, fair enough. I got you. Let me, I see a few super chats, and then after, let me read through some supers. I'm going to change my jersey, and then I don't know what just happened out there, but let's go to Brandon. Let's have some fun, and a shout-out to Zoom for the best content, personal interactions, and more live shows, and I'm rooting for the Longs on for the W today. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to be doing a Zoom call on Wednesday with some people from Raider Nation. If you participated, it means we did a deal on Friday for our live show. I might do another deal on I am going to do another deal on Friday. Essentially, we're going to be doing Zoom calls now where I want to have like that one-on-one interaction a little bit more with some people. And locals was fun, but I want to just do more of that personal interaction stuff on Zoom. We're going to be doing it every Wednesday. Haven't set up a time yet, but I am going to send out some emails after today's live show. Let's go to the real cowboy. If the Raiders draft Penix, it makes sense to have our best guard, Parham, on his blind side to team up with right tackle. And I agree with you. Like, it's been one of the things that I've said where I'm even kind of interested in the idea, hear me out, like if Colton Miller said, I would be down to play right tackle. You kick Thayer over to the left side, which I thought he looked pretty good last season, and you put Colton at right tackle. I know that Munford played right tackle last year, and I know Colton Miller hasn't played right tackle since 2016. But if you draft Penix, call me crazy, and what would you guys rather have? Would you rather have Colton Miller protecting Penix's blind side or Thayer Munford protecting his blind side? Let me know down below. Type KM for Colton Miller. Type TM for Thayer Munford, because I would still rather go with Colton. Like, I would want my best offensive lineman to play on the right side. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. Nicholas Romero. Why the long face, man? Why the long face? Vincenzo going with Colton Miller. Sienna, Ed Robbins, Anthony, Chuck Taylor. I think we're all in agreement with me with Colton. What? Do you know that person or no?
No, sorry. There was.
Oh. The other day, somebody asked.
Dude.
What?
You got to see this view of the eclipse.
I'm worried now. Are you going to send me something that I shouldn't see?
No, dude. Somebody filmed a part of the eclipse, and it was just funny.
There's no way this is an eclipse. Oh, that's iconic.
Chasing that.
That was, I'll tell you what. You can really see the beams of light. Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
93 nav, man.
I think Sancho saw it.
Oh.
Sancho just said balls.
93 nav, man. Side bets on duck races are okay.
Sure. You guys can make your own bets. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I saw a lot of nuts in that video. Not a lot of eclipse. Looks like somebody needs the clip. Miguel, the Final Four here as Uber money was worth it.
Speaking of.
Yeah? What?
Our next show.
Oh, yeah. Next show.
Manscaped.
Is the Manscaped one. I was like, I don't know exactly. I thought you were going with something else, but next show is going to be presented by Manscaped. Ventrac, I saw the...
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you skipped it. Got to give you some love for the jersey, Silver and Black Hills gang.
Sorry, I was laughing too
Ventrac,
hard.
if you want to bang on today's show, I'll make you a deal. If you bang right now, I'll do a beer bong on Friday for Friday Happy Hour. Ventrac's one of the OGs here, Silver and Black gang. So I'll do a beer bong on Friday, and Ventrac, I'll count it as 3 bangs for our April bang race. So you'll get the 3 bangs for our April bang race, and I'll do a beer bong on Friday. I do want to be able to give love to the people that do support this show as much as a guy like Ventrac does. I just got to be strict. I'm not drinking today. So Ventrac, I love you. It's all love, man. It's all love. All right, we got 750 people here. Let me switch up my jersey. Remember, we are doing a 50-50 raffle at the very end of today's show, which $20 Venmo to get in. Right now, as it stands, the winner would get, let me just see, Zon, you're in. The Great Tuna is in. Raider Sancho is in. And then Brooks Nelson is in, which means $20 Venmo for a chance to win $100. And if you want to shout out here on the Raiders Report, spam Ventrac right now. Chuggs.
Ventrac. Let's go. I see Anthony, Raider Sancho, Brandon Jasper, Hector, Ron Raspberry, Sienna, Robert Jansen, Brooks Nelson. Let's freaking go. Ventrac's an absolute legend. An absolute just legend. Silver and Black Hills gang unite. Another super chat coming in from Henry Payne. When Munford was a first-round prospect, he played left tackle. And then he played guard the next year and dropped. Have him play left tackle, move Miller to right tackle, which he played in college, and draft Penix in the middle to fill in the middle.
All right, I'm back here again. Venthrak, you're a real one, and I got 3 bangs, which now puts Venthrak in 3rd place for our April bang competition. And Venthrak, like I said, I got a beer bong for you on Friday. That's how I'll get the show started. You're not wrong, Henry, and this has been one of the reasons why we've kind of thrown out the idea to put him on the left side. So Munford in college played guard and he played left tackle. So he played both of them. And we had him as a round 1 grade, I want to say back in 2021. Then he ended up getting hurt and, not quite the same player. To me, I actually think that he has better footwork as a guard than as a tackle. But then also on top of that, I do think that his footwork is better in general on the left side than it was on the right side. And I made a video probably it was 10 days ago at this point, if you guys want to go check it out, and it was around the idea of why the Raiders need to switch up their offensive line and some of the things that I said in that video where you need to kick Parham over to the right guard spot. And then on top of that, I would kick Thayer Munford over to left guard or even, like I said, left tackle to put Colt Miller on the right side if your quarterback is Michael Penix Jr. But if anybody wants to check out that video, everything that Henry is saying here, I already have a full, it's like a 20-minute video on the Raiders Report channel. So if you want to go check it out, please do so. I always say if there's a question that pops up into your mind around the Raiders, there's a really, really good chance that we already made a video around it. So I'll see if I can. CD Lamb confirms he'll be in Dallas. I didn't even know that was something.
Scheffler said, can I get the same deal?
Who?
Scheffler said, can I get the same deal?
Yeah. I mean, if next time I wear Chef's jersey.
He's saying, can he get, if he spends 100 right now, can he get a beer bong on Friday? Oh. And 3 bangs.
Sure. Why not? You know what? That's fine.
One more, and you're starting off the show Friday with a boot.
Shit, yeah. Because this one's coming in to 93 Navman Bang! You know what? I'll do it today. We had an eclipse. I felt pretty good today. If Navman wants to get it going, and if Venthrak wants to get it going, Navman, this now puts Navman, he's still in 2nd place behind Zahn. But that means I just got to write this stuff down. For Friday, I owe 2 beer bongs. I got to be able to keep track, guys. I got to be able to keep track. Navman and Venthrak. I see Sienna, Ed Robbins, Mr. Raspberry, Brooks Nelson, diehard Raider fan here in the chat. Mr. Hector Gaming, diehard Raider fan 365. Kimbo, Sienna, Sancho.
Brutal.
93 Navman said, that rule applies to all, not just Venthrak. Bring it on, folks. Bring the heat. Navman's been having a lot of fun recently, and for some reason, our technology, Navman, I don't know why, it's not letting me put your super chat up on screen. I think Jeremy might be making it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The problem is sometimes our software, if it loses connection even for just a second, it didn't pull. Holy shit, dude.
I got it.
You got it?
Well, yeah, part of it.
Well, you might have to make another. You might have to make another.
Hold on.
There's,
oh, God.
Yeah, there's some people that are, it's insane. I'll tell you what, though, the beer bongs are going to be, oh, my goodness. Oh, are none of them pulling? Or is it only one?
None of them.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I'm making them all right now. Give me 1 second.
Jeremy's got to make all of them. You know what? We're just going to give some shout-outs here. David Zahn. Bang! The man, the myth, the legend himself, David Zahn. Yeah, Ron, you're probably not wrong in that, because now I owe 4 to start off the show on Friday. But I guess when in Rome, right? Friday's show might get a little bit litty-titty. And then another one, but I'm going to wait for chefs, because, again, Jeremy has to make all these. Kind of brutal. So, is there a way? So, do you think like all of them now?
Until it's just there's a problem with our connection right now. So until
Gotcha.
that connection gets fixed, which I don't even know how to do that.
So this is the one that Navman sent in. This was a $100 super chat, and again,
Actually, I can
what?
do that. Hold on. I can just put it.
You're good. I think you just put it up. So we're trying to get all of them up on screen, which usually we have the ability to just click and holy shit, guys. You guys are nuts, man. Bro, this is getting out of hand. Just so you know, Jeremy has to hand make all these. Jeremy has to hand make all of them, and I'm not giving the bank shout out until I can actually put it up on screen. Bro.
Oh, wow. Okay. Give me 1 second.
I got to count these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, that's 7 I owe for Friday already here in the chamber. This is disaster.
Oh, wow.
Yep, this is there's a lot going on right now. I don't even know how this Jeremy is frantically working behind the scenes. Is there a message we could send in production? Like,
oh, this is just absolutely brutal.
all right, hang on. I also got to put some more people in here for this duck race. This is Steve OK, you in. Troy Williams, you in. And then Rebel. Oh, wait. Rebel, you sent me a penny. I don't know what you sent me. Oh, I think that's going to be your email, Rebel. I'll check it out then. Guys. All right, that's 8.
Oh my goodness.
You guys are nuts. All right, so Zahn, I got to give Zahn his 3. I'm going to start doing the math here. Common, you get that. Common's at 3. I did that one. Ed Robbins gets 3 for our race in. Dude, this is insanity. Jamari insanity. Though Jamari won our duck race on Friday, which I forget how much money that was. And then I see Chef. So for those that don't know, every bang that we get here on today's show means I got to do a beer bong on Friday, and we're going to give you 3 bangs for our April duck race. It's not even an April duck race. April bang race. Navman again. I mean, yeah, this is. There's
just when I think I'm good.
Just when you thought so. So let me just count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's. I owe you guys 3 boots essentially on Friday to start the show. Friday's going to be an interesting day. Let's just say that.
Okay. All right.
Ron says you better just say screw it and do it today. I don't know. All right, so we got all of them made.
All right, here we go. 93
Navman! Bang! Next one.
That rule applies to all, not just Binthrak. Bring it on, folks. Bring the heat.
Mr. Zod! Bang! Scheffler! Bang! I haven't did it in a a long time, and I feel the need to. I hope we move up into the top 3 to get the guy we want, but more than likely, we're going to have to settle for somebody else. Rome wasn't built in a day. Be patient. I agree with the idea that Rome wasn't built in a day, but Rome at least made progress. That's why it kind of drove me nuts when people said that around McDaniels. You still got to be able to make progress. If the rumors are true that Cowherd is saying that the Commanders are going to take Jayden at 2, there's not a quarterback that I believe is worth trading up for, not named Jayden, not named Caleb, not named Drake May. And there's some speculation out there that May might fall a little bit. I still think the Vikings end up taking him. But if you have Penix at 13 and you want a quarterback, you're going to have to take him at 13. Jamari Murray! Bang! Ed Robbins! Bang!
What a way to do a first chat. Drink up.
David Zon! Bang!
Might as well make it 5.
Coming Raider! Bang! Just cause 93 Naman! Bang! Oh my Lord.
Well, best hurry up, Chuggs.
I mean, that was there was a lot going on there. There was a lot going on there.
Oh, and you know what?
Friday's going to be silly.
Dude, screw this.
What?
Right after I do it all, now it's working.
Now it works?
They've all pulled. Now they're all there.
Nice. After Jeremy had to make all of them by hand, they're now there. Yeah, Friday's show's gonna be something. Let's just say that. It's gonna be something. I'm a little bit nervous now about it. I'm gonna have to eat a shit ton of food on Friday. I haven't eaten anything today, so that's why I'm like, I don't really want to drink today. That's why I'm like staying away from it. But dude, that's a lot. Friday's gonna be something. Friday's gonna be something. All right, y'all, if you want a chance to get in and win some money, 50-50 raffle, 20 to get in at Mitchell Renz 365. The last time I saw, right now we have 20 to get in to win 130. Coming up, let's talk here about a player that I believe could be traded. Dude, Friday, I'm going to have nightmares about Friday. I don't know how I'm going to do it.
How many beer bongs / boosts do you owe?
It's technically 3 boots or 9 beer bongs. I mean, I'll probably have to, I think I might have to start it off with a boot.
And then,
and
just
then
go
do a few beer bongs, and then I might be able to do another one. I don't know. I mean, if anybody else sends in anything else today, that's going to add to the complication. Ira Jackson! Bang! Well, he added to the complications, I guess. I don't really know. We're
oh my goodness.
We're in a wee bit of trouble. We are in a wee bit of trouble.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. I almost think I have to end the deal.
Do you do a boot at the end of today's show to take off?
Take off some? We'll see. We'll see.
Because doing them all on Friday now, that seems like a daunting task.
And nothing. And again, like that's 10 to start it.
I'll do 1 boot on Friday, so that takes away 3 from you.
All right.
If you want to do 1 boot at the end of today's show to take away another 3, that means you'll only need 4, technically a boot and 1 beer bong to start Friday.
Okay, that's probably not a bad idea. I think that's not a bad idea. I might have to do that. Holy shit!
But I think, oh my goodness, I was literally just saying we need to get into today's show, but then Navman sent this. I'll be there on Friday. Clear the schedule, Mitch, and then
David Zon Bang! I think I have to. I literally think I have to do one at the end of today's show. All right, let's get into this next segment.
Jeffrey said boot race today. You know what? If we get one more, because
Oh my!
I'll do a boot for you on Friday. Now you owe.
It's 11 right now.
So we just owe two boot. If we did just 2 boots on Friday, if we got one more 100, we could do 2 boots today and then 2 boots on Friday, and we'd be good.
Dude, those boots are not made
That
for
would be
walking.
12. But we're 100 away from that.
I think we get into this next segment,
Yeah.
and then
It'd probably be smart.
and then if it happens, it happens. We'll go from there.
Okay.
Oh, dude. Well, oh, Jesus. Ira Jackson Bang!
So 2 boots today, 2 boots on Friday.
Oh my God! Zon!
David Zahn
Bang!
All right, so that's 2 boots today.
What is happening?
That's 2 boots today, 2 boots on Friday, and then you owe 2 beer bongs because Yoda Jenkins Bang! Okay, so that's 2 boots today, 2 boots on Friday, and then you owe 2 more beer bongs on top of that. You could owe 2 boots on Friday if one more person sends in 100, but I don't think that happens at this point. I think we need to just get into today's show.
What are you guys doing?
93!
Man Bang! Can we do something on today's show?
So we have 2 boots today, 2 boots on Friday, and then you owe another boot on top of that. So technically 3 boots on Friday.
Guys, what are we doing?
2 boots today. We owe 2 boots today, 3 boots on Friday, plus a beer bong because of Common Raider Bang! 2 boots today, 3 boots Friday, plus a beer bong.
This is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand.
It's the Eclipse Bang Day.
I don't know what to do. Dude, I have to do something today. I have to do something today. There's no way in hell I'm going to be able to do a show on Friday. Oh my God!
Ira Jackson Bang!
That's, if my math is right, that's 18. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Zon. Nah, man.
So that's 2 boots today and 4 boots on Friday.
What? So you're saying we're going to do 2 boots today, and then there's 4 to do on Friday.
Yes.
Holy Christ, dude.
Unless you want to do 2 today, 2 tomorrow.
All right, hang on. Go, just give me a boot now. Give me a boot right now.
Okay.
Please, let's do it. There's no way I'm going to be able to get through all of that on Friday. There's just no way I'm going to be able to do that. Oh. Four boot Friday. All right, we'll see. I got a boot in me right now then. This is the most debt I feel like I've ever collected. This is the worst my credit score has ever looked here on the Raiders Report. I mean, that was insane. I mean, that is a streak of, like I said, I've done this show a long time. That was That was insanity. That was insanity. There's a chance that I might be asking for some help from some of you guys on Friday. I might be asking, hey, who wants to pull up here to the Raiders Report and do a beer bong or a boot? Rebel, you got a boot. Make it a 5 boot top from Jose. Dude, I don't know. Brooks Nelson, like I said, are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding me, man? All right, so I'm going to wait for Chuggs. I might as well, right? Why not? Why not? Ira has a message for you. Ira has a message for you. Ira has a message for you, and it just says, why not? Ira Jackson! Ira Jackson! Oh my goodness. Well, I am a man of my word. Rules are rules. I hit the gong, so I'm going to try to get rid of some of these today. I have to, dude. There's just no way I'm not going to be able to do all. There's no way I'm doing all those on Friday. So right now, we would owe 20 beer bongs. After 2 boots here, we're down to 14 beer bongs for Friday. It's Monday. Monday, guys. What on earth, Ira? What on earth? You want to do this now? Let's do it now. Jordan, yesterday was my birthday. Oh, Jordan, and your 23 year. I think we should offer get Arnold Fuaga. I'm fine with either, or we may trade back up and get Penix. Well, first off, happy birthdays down below to Jordan McCain. And I do think that the idea of if you don't have the ability to get a quarterback, then taking Terrion Arnold or Taliese Fuaga at 13 is the right idea. But, like, I know you say we may trade back up and get Penix. I don't think that Penix makes it. I don't think Penix makes it outside of the top 20. I think he goes inside of the top 20. To me, it's one of the reasons why the Raiders recently have tried to add another first-round pick. Remember, I talked about on Thursday, last Thursday, that the Raiders offered the Miami Dolphins pick 44, 77, and 121. Miami said no to that for pick number 21. But I think if you're the Raiders and you want Penix, you got to take him at 13. And then if you want the opportunity to get another offensive lineman high up in the draft, then you could potentially take a J.C. Latham, maybe an Amari Mims or something like that if you add another first-rounder. Brandon, better get some friends to help for Friday, Mitch. Brandon, I might be calling you. I might be calling a bunch of my friends. And what's the other one that we have in here? We have Brandon's. I think Navman said, rolling hot, don't threaten a good time. And then if there's been one person who has been an absolute maniac the longest on this show, I talk a lot about Raider Ron. I mean this, like, to me, Zahn has got to be one of one anymore on this show. He's just an absolute insane man. And he says, gong me. David Zahn! Mr. Zahn! Oh my goodness. There's going to be somebody that watches this show that has never watched this show before, and they're not going to know what the hell's going on, guys. I mean, I don't even know what's going on at this point. Do we just stop the show and just drink for the next hour? I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this is just... Yeah, Sienna, I feel like a stripper that's around James Harden. There's just hundos just falling down right now. Is this a gong for Common? Common's got that one. It's close. I want to say Common now is 100 away from a gong. Common Raider! Bang! Unfortunately, our bosses are not here. So, no bosses today, guys. I wish I could. I wish I could. So all I know now is that we are back up to, I owe 18 beer bongs for Friday. Oh, that's a funny thing to even say out loud. We have so much debt right now. I don't know if I've ever had this much debt in my life. My credit score is going to go down because of all y'all. My credit score is going down. My credit score is going down. All right. We got 2 Zon milkshakes here. I know I'm not going to win, but damn it, I'm going to try. I mean, dude, come on. That was insane. Is insane. This has got to be... Bro, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. You want to do this first and then show that? All right, y'all. Who's ready to get turned up? Because at this point, I'm getting turned up today. I'm putting my drinking pants on. What? You want to do it now? I feel like we got so much going on right now. I'm telling y'all right now, we're getting ready to turn up here. So we're getting ready to turn up here on the Raiders Report. All I know is this. I got to do the math here. All right, I'm at that. And then that's, there's that. Zon puts him at 9. All right. So for those that don't know, every 100 today, I'm counting it as 3 bangs in our April bang race. First place is Zon. Zon is still in first place. But I think I lost my mallet. I'm literally, I don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words right now. Let's get it going here. Ira Jackson! Ira Jackson! You guys are maniacs. Maniacs. But you know what? You guys are nuts. Let's do these boot races. I owe 23 for Friday. And here's the thing. I'm getting rid of some of them today. Dude, I have to. I'm going to do some of them at the end of the show. We're going to get our drinking pants on here. I mean, this is the craziest Monday show I've ever done. For the record. For nothing happening in Raider Nation, for this to happen today, this is the craziest show I've ever done. You want to put some of that in the duck race? Put a hundo in the duck race? All right, we're going to put a hundo in the duck race. So if you want in...
We're adding 100 from Ira into the duck race.
Oh, boy. Cheers. Cheers. 23 more to go.
Is that nuts? You guys are crazy.
Oh, I don't know what to do. Do we just... I think we just turn this into a shit show. I say we just turn this into a shit show, and then... Do we do it tomorrow? I don't know. You guys say breathe. Oh, Yoda, I know. And it's only Monday. Mm-hmm. Okay. See, I want to do the boots here on YouTube just because they happened on YouTube. But I hear you. How about this? Can you go fill up 2 more? No, you don't have to. I'm going to do 2 more today. I have to get rid of some of this debt. I got 23 more to go. I'm going to do guaranteed 2 more, which means that's going to put me at 17 for Friday. I have to, dude. I have to. I got to do 2 more today. They're going to happen a little bit later on. But I do want to do 2 more segments. And like I said, we're giving away close to $1,600 today on the Raiders Report. Oh, my God. You guys are insane, man. Let me put Ira in again. Ira's going to be in again here. 1 minute. We got Justin Gilbert is in. I see Jose Corona is in. And then another one for Ira Jackson. Stephen OK. I see what you did. And then Daniel Jimenez is also in. Steve OK. Give me 1 second. Oh, boy. All right. Are we allowed to do some Raiders content? Just, it's an honest question. Am I allowed? Zon, we did Ira's. I think you need to hit live, Zon. I think so. Steven says, I want content. Somebody said, I vote maybe. I want content too. I want some content. I need some content in my life. All right, I'm going to do 1 more boot, which this is, I'm telling you what, I already feel a little bit. I have not eaten anything today, for the record, so this is going to put me in a very interesting spot. Terminator, would you trade Devontae for the #1 overall pick? I mean, the real if you could get your guy, I mean, if it was just Devontae for your #1 overall pick, then the answer to that is yes. However, it would cost you 3 first-round picks, Devontae Adams, and probably like a Malcolm Kuntz to get the #1 overall pick at this point. So if you're willing to trade 3 firsts, Devontae and Malcolm Kuntz, then you can do it. What? Yeah, I mean, today is just another, it's a shit show. It's an absolute show of shit. You know why? Steve! Okay! Bang! I'm not going to be okay. All right. Boot, Raiders content. We still got 2 more segments to do. My goodness. Yeah, we're going to do this. I'm going to do segment, boot. That's how it's going to go. Before anything else happens today, I got to get into this next segment. I am so afraid to look at my phone. Terrified to look at my phone. Also, because Ira, Zon, everybody went nuclear today, I'm going to have a special deal for everyone that watches tomorrow. Is that fair? We're going to have a special deal for everyone that watches the show tomorrow, you ready? We got to get into this one. Coming up here on the show, I'm going to talk about a Raiders player that I believe is the most likely to get traded. Get your drinking pants on. Today's Monday, and it's going to get wild. Raider Nation, it's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and today's show is presented by Manscape. On today's episode, I'm going to tell you the one Raiders player that I think is the most likely to get traded this offseason. To make sure that your significant other doesn't trade you, make sure your balls are looking great. Go to manscaped.com, code Raiders for 20% off and free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. So this show is built on the idea that there is a certain Raiders player that I believe has the highest chance to get traded this offseason. Maybe it's before the NFL draft. Maybe it's right after the draft. Maybe it's right before 53-man cut-down day. And some of y'all are probably thinking, well, Mitch, which player is it? I'm going to tell you who it is, but always remember, if a trade ends up going down here on this show, we're going to keep you up to date. And if this player in particular gets traded, I will be going live, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you got those notifications turned on. And I always think, like, why would a certain player end up getting dealt? There's multiple reasons. To me, there's 4 big reasons right now. To me, the first one is he could be think of it as a cherry on top. The Raiders, the Vikings, all these NFL teams that are being rumored to want to trade up for a quarterback, could you potentially put together a whole bunch of picks and then you add a player into the mix for the cherry on top? What if we knew that he might not be able to make the 53-man roster? Last year, I stepped up here on this show and I said that Neil Farrell Jr. might not make the squad. Matthew Butler might not make this squad based off things that we were told before the draft. And what happened? Neil Farrell Jr. ended up getting dealt. What about this one? Teams potentially interested, because some of you are going to be like, well, Mitch, how does a guy who might not make the 53-man roster, how are NFL teams going to be interested? It's based on the player themselves, based on the new regime, and based on where they went to college. And on top of that, final reason is it's not a fit with this regime. Like, when you think about players that could potentially be dealt, a lot of times they're drafted by a former regime. And this is a player that was drafted by a former regime, which is really nothing new to the Raiders fans that watch this show a lot because we've had so many different head coaches. These are all the reasons for a trade. So before I reveal which player I believe is the most likely to get traded this offseason, here's going to be your opportunity to let me know. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. You are about to get hit with a YouTube ad break, so while that ad is playing, I want you to scroll on down and let me know which Raider is the most likely to be traded this offseason after this YouTube ad break. My answer. The player that is the most likely to get traded for the Las Vegas Raiders is Byron Young, defensive tackle for the Silver and Black. The reason why that I believe that Byron Young is the most likely to get dealt, I have 5 reasons coming up here on today's show. And there's a multitude of reasons why the Alabama product could potentially be getting dealt. But if you follow along with a lot of the moves that the Raiders have already made, you can kind of see that this one is, the writing is on the wall. First reason here of why I believe Byron Young could end up getting dealt. Drafted by the previous regime. Anytime you have a player that's drafted by the previous regime, the new regime that comes in, Antonio Pierce, Tom Telesco, they're not committed to anybody. And, you know, people thought it was crazy when I even said, like, hey, you could see Alex Leatherwood not making the squad the year after he was drafted at pick 17. New regimes don't give a shit. And with Byron Young, even though he was selected in round 3, pick 74 overall in the 2023 NFL draft, AP and Telesco, they could bring in their own guys. Hell, they've already brought in their own guys. And if you decide to move on from Byron and you trade him, yeah, you're going to eat $780K. And yeah, sure, you're going to save $482, but like, saving this little bit of money, it's more important about the roster spot and taking advantage of the value, because right now, Byron Young's value might be the highest than it's ever going to be, just because he might not see the field. The next reason here is the cherry on top for a trade-up. I know that the Raiders want Jayden Daniels. You know that the Raiders want Jayden Daniels. We all know that they are looking at least for a quarterback, and if there is a realm of possibility that come draft night, the Raiders are trying to trade up and you want to try to have that extra cherry on top, could you put in Byron Young for a deal? Or the trade back up into the first round discussion, because I told y'all last Thursday that the Raiders tried to make a deal with the Miami Dolphins, sending 44, 77, and pick 112 to the Miami Dolphins for pick 21. The Dolphins said no. What happens if there's a team that's kind of in that situation and the Raiders go, we'll give you all this, but we'll also give you Byron Young, which some people might think, like, who wants Byron? He was a third-round pick last year. There were multiple NFL teams that probably had a third-round grade on him and believe, you know what? New regime, new fit. We could still be able to use him and take advantage of that for the cheap because he'd probably go for a fifth, maybe a sixth-round pick. Coming up next here on the show, I got some more reasons of why I believe Byron Young is the most likely to get traded this offseason. But before I do want to tell you about our awesome sponsor here, Manscape. And I've talked a lot of amazing things about Manscape over the years. Not only do I think they have the best male grooming products out there, not only would Alex put her stamp of approval on Manscape products, but they're also doing something very special for the month of April, and I want you all to listen up right now. Did you know 1 man every hour, every day, is diagnosed with testicular cancer? In fact, testicular cancer is the most common form of cancer among men aged 15 to 35. With April being National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, our friends over at Manscaped have partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to help spread awareness for men's health and early cancer detection. Visit manscaped.com/TCS to learn how to check yourself for early signs of cancer. And as always, you can use promo code Raiders for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. In addition to providing the right tools and solutions for comfortable and easy grooming, Manscaped is committed to raising awareness and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer. That is why they will be donating $50,000 to the Testicular Cancer Society. Help save lives and your balls by going over to manscaped.com/TCS and sharing their funny, educational check yourself video. While you're at it, grab 20% off and free shipping with code Raiders because, like a famous American philosopher once said, take care of your chicken, your balls, and your mentals. Now, I use Manscaped products a lot. I also have had a lot of people impacted by cancer in their days, and to me, if I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here, my hairy balls and testicular cancer, I'm going to try to do it. So shout out to Manscaped. That link's going to be available to all of y'all down in the comments and down in the description of today's show. Manscaped's doing a lot, and I want y'all to be able to help out your balls too. Let's go to the next one. Byron might not make the 53-man roster, and I do think because the Raiders know with their current roster and the current depth at the defensive tackle position, if you know right now, like if AP and Telesco deep down know, like, shit, there is a chance that Young might not make this team, I'm trying to trade him for literally anything. Like, if I can get a 7th-round pick in next year's draft, I'm going to try to do it because this is a player who played in only 6 games last season, made only 4 tackles, and was a healthy scratch for most of the season. On top of that, look at what happened when Antonio Pierce took over. Other players got more opportunities, and Byron was kind of the odd man left out. And when you look at how many defensive tackles that this roster has, and if the Raiders decide to keep only 6, like, you know this, Christian Wilkins going to make the team. Depending on how they want to put Tyree Wilson, he's going to make the team. Adam Butler, going to make the team. John Jenkins, going to make the team. Sure, there's some other players here and there that he's going to have to battle out a roster spot for, but I've already just said there's at least 4 defensive tackles that are guaranteed to make this squad. Now, the next thing is, look at what the Raiders have done. Like, NFL coaches can say one thing. NFL GMs can say one thing. But actions speak louder than words. And if there is one thing that the Raiders told me this offseason was they were not confident at all in the defensive tackles this offseason. Because not only did you add the biggest defensive tackle in free agency outside of Chris Jones to a monstrous 4-year, $110 million deal, which they did by adding Wilkins, you also decided to bring back John Jenkins. You decided to bring back Adam Butler. They looked at Byron Young, Jerry Tillery, Marquand McCall, Matthew Butler, and Nesta Jade Silvera, and they said, holy shit, this is one of the worst defensive tackle rooms in the league, and we had to decide to make some moves here to make sure that our room was a little bit more secure. And no disrespect to Byron, he's not beating out Adam Butler. Like, this was a regime that had Rob Leonard that decided, you know what, I want to bring back Butler, Jenkins, Wilkins, put all these guys together from their time back at Miami because Jenkins, even though he's up there in age at 34 years old, he's coming off a really solid year for this team, and he's going to be a good depth player. So, like, right now, even if Tyree Wilson is also in that defensive tackle rotation, which he's going to be in that discussion, at best, you have a guy that was picked in the 3rd round. You're hoping that he's the 5th defensive tackle on your roster. And then the other part of the actions speak louder than words argument goes into future/reserve contracts. Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco. Maybe not Telesco because he wasn't hired yet. But Antonio Pierce and this Raiders regime, on January 8th, they decided to give out 15 reserve contracts. 2 of those players being, one, Nesta Jade Silvera, who played his college football at Arizona State. Call me crazy. If Antonio Pierce is going to pick between Nesta Jade Silvera and Byron Young, I am going to guess that he's going to go with somebody that he has connections with and Nesta Jade Silvera, which then brings us to our next guy, Marquand McCall, who also got a contract extension, a 1-year deal essentially. But, like, he's a totally different kind of defensive tackle than somebody like Byron. Marquand is 6'3", 380 pounds, a monstrous human being that showed, like, okay, he could take on double teams. Like, what if the only job that they would want McCall for is 4th and 1 down at the goal line, or to just put in an extra body to be able to have somebody at the practice squad? Because I'll say this, one of the risks that the Raiders would run into is if you have Marquand McCall and Byron Young both on your practice squad, I think the higher chance of a probability of getting taken is, in fact, Byron. So because of that, do you just decide to try to move on from Byron Young and just get whatever you can now? But let's just say this. If you had to pick one to get rid of, who would you get rid of? Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that 3 out of these 4 are going to make the 53 and going to make your practice squad this upcoming season. If you got to get rid of one of them, are you getting rid of Byron, Matthew Butler, Nesta Jade Silvera, or Marquand McCall? Let me know down below, who would you end up moving on from? For me personally, the name that if I got to pick from all 4 of those guys, I'm going to move on from Marquand McCall. And I just don't think that he's the most talented out of the other 3. Like, Byron did an okay job based on players that I talked to in May, June, July last year. Then he had an injury and really struggled to kind of get it going again. But, like, what I do think is the most likely and the best thing to build the best team possible for the Raiders is you trade Byron Young right now. You try to get a 6th or a 7th round pick for him. You then use one of those 6th or 7th round picks to hopefully maybe help you trade back up even earlier in the NFL draft, or stockpile a draft pick in case you do have to use some extra draft capital to go up and get your quarterback. But then on top of that, if I got to pick in that nutshell of those 4 players, I think only 2 out of those 4 even still make the roster. So I think it's going to be Nesta Jade Silvera. I think it's going to be Matthew Butler. So that means Marquand McCall, Byron Young are on the outside looking in. That is why I believe Byron Young is the most likely to be traded this offseason. So we're going to go through these one more time. If you want to take a screenshot of this, remember, you can post it on Twitter. You can post it on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. I'm not sitting up here saying that he is going to get traded. I'm simply telling you that if somebody were to ask me, out of all the Raiders players this offseason, who do you believe is the most likely to get dealt? His name is Byron Young, based off of these reasons. Drafted by the previous regime. I think that we know the Raiders are trying to trade up, and he could be the cherry on top. I'm not sure if he makes the 53-man roster because the Raiders have added Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, John Jenkins to the mix. On top of that, you might decide to put Tyree Wilson at defensive tackle. You also have future contracts for Nesta Jade Silvera. You have a future contract for a dude in Marquand McCall. You chose to play Matthew Butler over Byron Young last season with this current regime. All of those reasons are why I believe Byron Young is not going to be a member of the Raiders this upcoming season. Oh boy, we got a big March Madness matchup today between David Zahn and Jose Corona, and we're going to do this race coming up here in a little bit. Who you got? Type DZ for David Zahn, JC for Jose Corona. Chuggs,
You might want to check.
I want you to give some shout-outs. I got another boot I got to do.
You might want to check your phone.
I'm going to look at it later. I'm afraid to even look at my phone. For those of you that don't know, my role is always, if somebody makes me hit the gong, I drink, if it's not on a Friday. Today we've hit the gong 3 times, so hope you got your drinking pants on. Monday's about to get sloppy. Cheers to all the real ones out there. Give some shout-outs.
Shout out to David Zahn, Zalesbo, Matthew Yoakum, Yoda Jenkins, Nicholas Romero, Steven, Sienna, John, Robert Jansen, Jeremy Cole, all spamming. It's Zahn's across the board. Not a lot of JCs, not a lot of Jose Coronas. I don't know. It could go either way. Jose Corona's a real one, too. Raphael says, Sloppy Toppy Monday. Let's get it.
Oh, man. Holy shit, I had to burp. I'm telling you what, I'm already feeling those boots, man. I'm going to be in trouble by the end of the show.
Art thou feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
I know I'm going to be feeling it at the end of the show.
If you want to go ahead and switch your jersey real quick.
Yep, sounds good.
Yep. I know. I know. Let me know who you got in the upcoming March Madness race. Is it David Zahn or Jose Corona? Let me know down in the comments section. What you're thinking. Wow. I mean, today's been an absolute insane day so far. We have a ton of people in the chat who have just ruined our day so far. Just causing mayhem. Silver and Black Hills gang, Mount Raidermore, it's just been something. JC coming in. There's some JCs coming in from Frisco. I also saw Camacho was saying JC. I see Graf and Wasted in the chat as well.
Oh, Graf, Wasted. What's up, guys? Today's been a shit show.
We know what Graf and Wasted came for.
David Zahn Bang! This man, I don't even know, dude.
I don't think Mitch sounds like Wasted. He sounds like a lot younger.
I sound okay now. I already know by the end of this show, I am going to sound like Wasted and like Wasted talent.
Graf said came for pause.
I'll have the tuna.
I'll have the tuna. Pause.
Dude.
Graf should get that one.
So Graf, I don't know if you remember that. You guys were all...
Graf came in like a baller. He had a cigar lit.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, don't worry, I own this place. That was a hell of a night, man.
Me being the white guy I am, I was like, can you do that?
I mean,
what's
his name did?
He said, what kind of protein you got?
Yeah, I know.
I'll take the tuna. Pause.
That was a hell of a night, man.
Dude, that was epic. We had a great dinner that night, Graf.
Yeah, that
was some great food.
That was some of the best food I've had. Not gonna lie.
JC does it.
What's
Let's
up,
go.
JC does it? Somebody said, how do I join a boot race? I mean, if you want to help take a boot down.
You have a boot.
Angel Gonzalez, do you have a boot? That's my question. Oh, man. Josh, Mitch, did you ever place a Raiders patch in your KC buddy's house yet? I did not. I didn't have a Raiders patch. The only patches I have are actually ones that I collect.
Mitch dug a hole under his house and buried it.
It's not a bad. I mean, like I said, I probably have 24, 25 Raiders patches at this point. That I keep. I have a box that I keep all these patches in. Now we also have that jersey from Taino, which there's like 40 patches on that bad boy. Yep. Let's roll through some super chats here. We're going to be doing this David Zahn, Jose Corona matchup at the end of today's show.
Herman, Renz and Chuggs, did you catch the solar eclipse today? Yes, it was insane.
It was unbelievable. Josh Melton, are you still taking on more debt? I mean, I guess at this point, I'm just going to continue. We got a Monday drinking show.
Navman said, I've been told I'm an instigator. No way. But
we're doing every hundo. I'm going to do a beer bong on Friday, though I've already tried to chip away. I've done 6 today. I've done 2 boots. It's not going to be, oh, my Lord. JC does it! Bang! Are you kidding me? You guys are...
You're killing me.
Literally.
Oh, my goodness.
Literally. Before the race, a good luck. Do we do one of the duck races now?
Wait, did you just do a boot already?
I did. I did 2 boots today.
I've done 1, so that's 3.
Correct. And
2 plus 1.
But I'm still we owe. After that, we only owe 20 more beer bongs for Friday. Oh, excuse me, 21. Josh Melton! Bang! The amount of debt I am in, it's scary.
Dude, if this was Monopoly, you would be done.
You
are in jail. You got to keep on rolling. Just doubles.
I feel like
Doubles
I gave
roll.
Alex my Target credit card. That's how I feel right now. I am in a boatload of debt. This is...
So, if we still owe 21, that means we owe 7 boots.
Yeah, 7 boots. Just like
so, after this, 6 boots.
Yep. Just a casual...
Graf said, can he pull up to take a boot this week?
On Friday? You know what? Let's make a deal.
Graf in stew?
Graf in stew Friday. Graf, I'll make it happen. I'll talk to my bosses. Graf in stew Friday live show.
I'll try to put you in on the lunch order.
Though some people might Graf in stew is a big pause amongst Raider Nation.
Yeah. Graf in studio.
Yeah, studio. Graf in studio live show. Would you guys be down for Graf to pull up Friday? Give me a Y for yes and for no. That'd be kind of nuts.
Pause.
Yeah, he'll have the tuna. Y'all ain't ready. I don't know. I mean, Graf, if you want to, just text me if you're serious, and then I'll talk to James and Brett, and then all we got to do is I need you to send me your picture of your driver's license.
He said, I'm leaving on my face.
I need a picture of your driver's license, and I need an email.
Oh, my God. Well, before I forget, and we go on to our next segment, we do have a duck race. We added $100, so now what would the winner get?
It's a great question. Winner would get $300.
$20 to win $300 right now.
I'll tell you what. All right, Graf said he's good. Raider Josh, I want to say you sent yours in a while ago. Yeah, Raider Josh, you're in. You're the 4th person to get in. 4th person to get in. All right, Graf said, let's get it. Let's get it then. Yo, Friday's show is going to be even more lit. Graf, I will say, if there's a beer that you like, let me know. That way I can pick it up. Or else you're just going to get Bud Light or Happy Dads. We do have Corona.
There's nothing wrong.
We have Coors Light in the fridge. We got a few Millers, but I would recommend Happy Dad. Would probably be the easiest way. Yeah,
Graf loves the Pabst.
PBR?
We will mash you on Friday. Cancel plans.
Cancel all your plans. All my plans, cancel them. All right, I'm going to refresh my phone here. Uh-oh. Alex is calling me. I got to answer it real quick.
Answer.
Let me go pee real quick.
How much to answer it on speaker right now? Oh my goodness. $20 to get in our duck race at the end of the show. I mean, today's been wild. Robert, I don't want to put that evil on him, but you said it. You said it, Robert. David. Oh my goodness. Rules are in fact rules. That's what I've been told. I'll do $20 shots for Mitch to be nice if y'all want to F him up. Oh. I could just see how this could get bad very easily. $20 shots while Mitch is gone until he gets back. This is just on a Monday. On a Monday. Is it because the eclipse? Is this like a full moon situation with like werewolves? Like Raider Nation just comes out on an eclipse day and they're just like, the nation is just set to another level. Like, I don't know what's gotten into y'all today. It is just a wild, like, it's a madman, like, insane. Insane. Oh my goodness. Well, let me know your answer to this question while we wait for Mitch. Let's see if, I think you might have dodged a bullet.
I'm good. I'm back. Yeah, I don't think I could have done Fireball. I got to keep it to just beer. I literally didn't eat anything today. Like, those 6 beers, I'm telling you right now, I already feel it. All right, let me give some shout-outs here to some other people that are in.
Alex is like, you're not going crazy, right? No. Just a normal Monday show.
Josh, you in.
Nothing to see here.
Luis Avina, you in. Sheffy, you in. Manuel Ruiz, you in. Matthew Yoakum, also in. And then Zach Martin is in.
Okay. It's late, but we'll count it.
What?
That's 1.
Oh, man. I don't have Fireball.
I'll go get you some.
Oh, Mario, art thou Mario? Graf wrote me something. Tell sis I said the Cowboys are asparagus. Here's the thing. She doesn't even like asparagus. So what's crazy was Alex and I right now are looking for a new apartment. And the question that I always find hilarious anymore, you guys know my leg tattoo, but I had a Raiders hat on and my shorts, which, spoiler alert, not that I wear shorts, but I'm not afraid to wear shorts that show off my knees. I had a guy come up to me, he goes, so you're a Raider fan, right? He was like our realtor. And then kind of got into like the whole discussion of what we do for work. But Graf, like that's like somebody looking at you with your Raiders like sleeve tattoos, and it's like, oh, you're a Raider fan? No, I just got this for the hell of it. Like, if you're getting Raiders tattoos for the hell of it, or even worse, I mean, imagine a guy that's got a San Jose Sharks tattoo. Couldn't be me. I know a guy that's got a Sacramento Kings, San Jose Sharks, and a Raiders tattoo. I know one person. You got to be insane to do that.
Who has the San Jose Sharks? 1.
Dude, that's bad. I'll show you on Friday.
San Jose Sharks is wild. Good name. I think Coop walks out with maybe $80 and everybody else
legitimately,
nothing.
I couldn't name a single player that's ever played for the San Jose Sharks.
They traded their 2 best players. You don't know who Joe Pavelski is? Dallas Stars.
I've heard of Pavelski.
Played for the Sharks.
Okay. See, now I know one. Pavelski. There we go.
$10.
Nice. Put it in my pocket.
Petey, how many San Jose Sharks do you know?
Does anybody know a single San Jose Shark player? Give me a Y for yes, N for no.
All time.
Yeah, you guys are saying names that don't.
Eric Carlson.
Raider Josh says I can name a lot. I couldn't name a single San Jose Sharks player of all time.
Right now, I'm looking at
No way. Robert Ortiz, I don't know if I said you're in, but you are. And then I got my man Gary Chai also in. $20 Venmo to win, $380.
Petey would have $40, $50.
I'm impressed.
They traded their 2 best players from this year. Right now, I can name 1 player.
Yes.
But it's also not fair because Petey just knows that probably because trivia.
Yeah.
I feel like
He knows hockey. He's a puckhead.
Petey knows puck. Petey knows puck.
Petey gives multiple pucks.
Yeah, Petey, this guy, he's always DTP.
He pucks around and finds out.
He's I've been told Petey's a mother pucker.
Yep. If you don't watch out, he'll puck your sister.
Really? Actually, I heard Shay one time said pucker up. That's all the hockey analogies I can give.
Yeah.
Also, later on that night, she screamed, "Goal!"
All right. Petey looks kind of mad. Maybe you should check yourself.
Oh, man. Maybe if we get lucky, you can... Sticking? I don't know. High stick? All right, we're done. Oh, boy. We got...
Don't want to make it mad or y'all have to have a face-off.
Oh, boy. I'm running out of hockey analogies here.
Icing.
We just put our gloves down? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, this is getting off the rails. We got another segment to do, and then, as far as I'm concerned, let's turn this into a show of shit.
Show of shit.
Show of shit coming up next here on the Raiders Report. Mitch, you and Jeremy should do a live stream going 1v1 on the ice rink with a stick and a puck ice skates. Do you know how to ice skate? I do not.
You don't know how to ice skate?
I don't know how to ice skate.
Bro, then we definitely have to do it.
All right, I'll make you a deal. We are 500 away. Okay? 500 away. If we get 500 more on today's stream, at some point in the off season, you and I will go to an ice rink, and you can videotape me. Dude.
You've never skated.
I've tried. I did one time when I was in Germany. That was just an epic fail. I've never learned how to skate. I don't know how to rollerblade. I don't know how to ice skate. I legitimately don't know how to ice skate. I don't get embarrassed often. Watching me try to ice skate, the last time I did, they had like those, it's like a walker, you know what I mean? But it was a penguin. And then there was like some little kid just going right by me. I was kind of
93 nav man. Zahn finishes behind me on the duck race side bet.
Good luck. I mean, I'll say this for our April Bang race. Right now, it is between. We got in first place is Zahn, second place is Ira Jackson, third place is Navman. After that, nobody's close. Nobody's close. Ira Jackson, he's really close to Zahn. Okay.
Right. We got to get this last segment because,
dude,
we have 5 minutes before the show's supposed to end.
Well, we're gonna be live for a little bit. We got some beers to do. Ira said boot.
Yeah, you have one more boot. Maybe we can convince some people to knock down some beer bongs for us.
I'm gonna get rid of some. I know that.
Because after that, we still owe.
After
18.
that, no. After that, we owe 21.
After that,
I've already subtracted what we owe 21 for Friday. We got some heavy lifting to do.
I've been helping you out.
I appreciate that. Yep. Here we go.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. You're the one wheeling and dealing out here.
Are we a team?
Mitch does a $100 deal. He's like, bro, we owe 70 beer bombs.
Are we a team?
Yes.
Nice. Split it right down the middle.
Oh,
Hey,
God.
we're a team. We're in this. 21. Can you do something for me? Coming up, we're going to talk about some offensive tackle prospects that I want the Raiders to target. You ready? Get your drinking pants on, ladies and gentlemen. Today's going to be an interesting Monday. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, we're going to be looking at the top 10 offensive tackle prospects that the Silver and Black should target in the 2024 NFL Draft. I've been sleeping pretty damn good, probably because our live shows have been getting lit and wild thanks to David Zahn, Ira Jackson, 93 Nabman, and all the other crazy people that always tune into the show. I've also been sleeping well thanks to our sponsor, 8 Sleep. And if anybody needs a better night's rest, go to 8sleep.com/chatsports, $200 off the pod cover. That link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. So when you see today's episode of the top 10 offensive tackles, I've already made a lot of videos around linebackers, cornerbacks, running backs. When you think about the top 10 OTs, I want you to think about it based on the idea of top players at their position, right? Like who are the best overall offensive tackles based on fit, based on where you would have to get them in the draft. That's how I want you to think about this rankings. Also, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more top 10 target videos at each position, I am making a video around every single position. So Antonio Pierce, Tom Telesco, they got some tough decisions to make. I'm not saying that they watch the show. I know Mark Davis watches the show. But at any point, if they're like, who were some prospects that Raider Nation wants, hopefully they stumble across this. And if you want to see which prospects I want the Raiders to target, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. So the way that these players are ranked are, again, based on overall skill set, fit with the Raiders, and projected draft costs. Like there's some players that I think go in round 4 compared to going in round 1. And based on that value, I would rather have the guy in round 4 than I would in round 1. I'm not saying the guy in round 4 is better, but it's on the overall value. As it stands right now, here is the Raiders' offensive line depth chart. And the biggest question mark here is, what do you exactly think about Thayer Munford? Because could Munford potentially play left guard and you kick Dylan Parham over to right guard and then you're looking for a brand new right tackle? Could you potentially have a situation where Munford gets, kicked over to right guard and you're still looking for a right tackle? A lot of different question marks, but to me, it all circulates around the confidence level that this organization has in Munford, because there's a lot of people that when you talk about tackles, you talk about the right side. If the Raiders are really confident in Munford, and to me, if you're putting 6 to 10 on this question here, you're not taking an offensive tackle at pick number 13. You're going to wait for somebody a little bit later. However, though, do you really want a rookie quarterback? Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell playing behind a right side that could potentially be pretty weak. If you're answering 5 and below, then you're probably on that board of, yeah, we should get an offensive tackle very, very early. So be real with me. What is your confidence level in Thayer Munford? Scale it from 1 to 10. 1 being you're not confident. 10, you're absolutely confident. For me right now in Munford, I'm at a 5, maybe a 6. It's a coin flip. And if you can upgrade at a position, that's what I'm going to try to do. So here we go. Let's get into our top 10 offensive tackle draft targets for the Silver and Black. And coming in here at number 10 is Christian Jones from the University of Texas. He's got 26 games played at right tackle in 2022 and in 2023, 4 sacks allowed. The year before that, in 2021, he did play at left tackle, though I just think his overall skill set is better on the right side. When he wins at the collegiate level, he uses his length, he uses his power. His hand strength is very impressive. Like when he hits somebody in the chest, they definitely move back. His footwork is not great. His quickness is not great, and his lower body to me in general does seem slow, which I'll admit is a big red flag for me when I evaluate overall tackle talent in the NFL. But at 6'6", 320 pounds, like there is some upside there. Like if the Silver and Black still had Carmen Brasillo, who now is with the New York Giants, our new offensive line coach, James Craig, I'd be a little bit more confident in Brasillo to work with him than Craig. And because of that, he is ranked 10, and it's a player that you're probably going to target in round 3 and in round 4. Let's go to number 9 here on my list. It's Delmar Glaze, and what a unbelievable nickname. This is a name that I want everyone to just say pause to, because that's what I think of. Delmar Glaze, 13 games played at left tackle in 2023, and 13 games played at right tackle in 2022. He's got decent lateral quickness with a 7-foot wingspan, so like very, very long arms. And for a player that you're going to be able to get a little bit later on in the draft is why I have him here at number 9. He does struggle against speed rushers, and like on tape, he plays soft. Like, I want my offensive tackle to be angry. I want them to like want to put the opponent's head in the dirt, teabag them, and I don't always see that from Glaze here. He is 6'5". He's 328 pounds. I think personally, like the way that the nation should look at him is a Brandon Parker. I'm not sitting up here saying that I want Brandon Parker or Delmar Glaze to start for the Raiders, but if you're looking for somebody that you can get in round 6, round 7, that could potentially be that backup swing tackle, good competition for a dude like Dalton Wagner, I think that's kind of what my mindset was here with Mr. Glaze. So what do you say here? Which round should the Raiders target an offensive tackle in this year's draft? Are you sitting up here saying, Mitch, we got to go get somebody in round 1. We got to get somebody in round 2. Or you're like, no, man, we got Thayer Munford. We're all right. We can get a tackle for a little bit more depth. Let's look at 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me know down below which round the Raiders should target an offensive tackle in this year's draft. This question is a very difficult one, and I do believe that it varies. For me personally, and for what Tom Telesco has done, the position that he has drafted the most on the offensive side of the football has been on the offensive line. 12% of his picks have been offensive linemen since he has basically started. Might even be offensive tackle in general. I am targeting offensive tackle in round 1 if one of my top players are there, which we'll talk about here in a sec. Or I'm going to look in round 3, round 4 to find my offensive tackle. If you haven't already gotten started with our awesome sponsor, 8 Sleep is totally changing the game. And I want you to go to 8sleep.com/chatsports. Show some love to our sponsor here, because not only have they been helping my sleep, they've been helping out sleep for a bunch of people that tune into the show. But 8 Sleep's Pod 3 cover slips right over your mattress, bringing heating and cooling tech that keeps you comfortable and sleeping deeper for a better, more restful night. I love 8 Sleep because it has totally stopped my night sweats. I like to snuggle with Chuck. You guys know I like to snuggle with my fiance, Alex, and thanks to 8 Sleep, I don't wake up sweating, and I get a better night's sleep. The pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs. The cover can be added to any bed like a fitted sheet and allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. In addition to keeping you at the perfect temperature all night, the pod also tracks your sleep and health metrics. On average, pod users see their sleep quality improve by 32% after just a month on the pod. So go to 8sleep.com/chatsports and get $200 off plus free shipping on the pod cover by 8 Sleep. Invest in the rest you deserve with the 8 Sleep pod. So if anybody saw that, wants to get started, again, link available down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Let's go to number 8 here. Troy Fautanu, the offensive tackle, we'll call him offensive lineman from Washington. And what's interesting about this is some people are going to look at him and say, Mitch, you're way too low on him. The reason why I have him at 8 is because I do think that he could be an offensive tackle. However, I believe that he is going to be an offensive guard. In his highest upside to me is guard. And because of that, I'm not going to draft a guard at number 13. If the Raiders have the ability to get him in the second round at pick 44, I'm on board with that. I just don't think that he's going to be available by pick 44. Like, he also plays on the left side of the offensive line. So if the Raiders were like, hey, Colt Miller, we want you to play on the right side, that could be an option because they like Thayer maybe a little bit more at left tackle. You could draft Fautanu, have him and Thayer battle it out on the left side, and winner gets left tackle, loser gets left guard. Like, could be just an option to consider. Like, I love his tenacity. I love his footwork. He's got that mindset that you want in an offensive lineman, that you want somebody that's like, you know what, I'm putting your dick in the dirt on every single snap, and that's what he does. He's from Henderson, Nevada, very close to home, 6'4", 317 pounds. The Raiders would be able to have a local visit with him, so it wouldn't count as their top 30. But because that he plays on the left side, and because I am evaluating a lot of these players more on the right side of the line, because that to me is a bigger need, because I believe Colton's going to want to stay on that left side, Troy Fautanu comes in here at number 8. Let's go to number 7 here. Kingsley Suamaitai. Mataya, I think is how it is. He's the offensive tackle for BYU, and you know what? I would love to sip a Mai Tai on the beach right now. I'd also love to see this guy on the Raiders in the correct round. He did play left tackle last season. To me, though, he was better at right tackle back in 2022. He didn't allow a single snap in 2022. That was 687 snaps. He's got good size. I like his play strength. He brings that physicality. The problem that he's going to have in the NFL is his hands are sloppy. And my comparison that I'm going to use on tape here is, have you ever shaken somebody's hand? Like man to man, and even there's like times where, you know, if a man shakes a woman's hand, like I've had people tell me, when you give a handshake, you ever have somebody's handshake and you're just like, that's a dead fish in my hand. Watching the tape here with Kingsley when he's going up against somebody, you could tell that he's just not packing a lot of punches with his hands. And when somebody's fast, they beat him. Like, I would love to see what Max Crosby does here to Kingsley, because if he's able to figure out that hand strength and figure out that violentness that you want from an offensive lineman, I do think he could be a much better of a player. But this is somebody that I would target at pick 44 and no higher. Let's go to number 6 here. It's Blake Fisher, right tackle for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And there is a ton of talent here. Like, some people, and I love me some Joe Alt. We'll talk about Joe Alt here in a minute. Fisher might actually be more athletic. He's just not even close to as technically sound as Alt. And I like his agility. And I do think that he's got that ability to shine when he's making his way up the field on some of those combo blocks. We know Telesco loves Notre Dame prospects. They're usually a little bit more smarter. My biggest knock on Fisher, though, is his inability to get off the ball. Like, when you call hike, I'm going to bet most of the time Fisher's going to be the final guy that takes that back step. Like, we always talk about acceleration going forward. Fisher's inability to accelerate going backwards is concerning. 8 sacks allowed the last 2 seasons with the Fighting Irish, and he's got that athletic ability. Like, and if you are very, very confident in your offensive line coach, then I think that you take a shot on Fisher. And where I would target him personally is round 5. I think there might be some people out there that say, you know what, I can make the most out of this kid, and they might take him in round 3. Round 4, I'm okay with it at 112. Round 5 is where I would like this value a little bit more. But at pick 112, pick 148, this is more based on the idea that said, hey, you know what? We had to trade up for a quarterback, or Terrion Arnold was on the board early on, and you decided to neglect the offensive tackle position in those first 2 rounds. This is somebody that you could target just a little bit later on. Number 5, coming up here for my offensive tackle draft targets by the Las Vegas Raiders, is Tyler Guyton, who really showed out at the Senior Bowl, and I was very impressed by his overall demeanor at the Senior Bowl. And some people win, some people lose. This was a prospect that I didn't know exactly where he was going to go, and because he had such a good Senior Bowl, I do think that he ends up being a round 1 talent. If you were to ask me, out of all the offensive tackles that I project could potentially go round 1, who's the guy that falls out of round 1, I will say that it's Guyton. Like, his length, his feet, his body control are all traits of why he's so good in the pass blocking area. He did battle some injuries in college, which is going to hurt him a little bit in the draft process. But what I also really scares me at the tackle position is when you play with a high level of gravity, okay? He needs to get stronger. He also at times plays like he's got to stick up his you-know-what. And if you go in the NFL with speed rushers, bull rushers, they might bully him around a little bit. Again, he did good at the Senior Bowl, which is why I'm confident to target him in round 1 or 2. But the reason why he's also ranked where he's at is I'm not taking him at pick 13. Like, it's not going to happen. If the Raiders figure out a way to acquire another first-round pick and you want to take him in the 20s, cool. Like, that's where I think Guyton goes. I don't see him falling to pick 44, but the hard part about his evaluation to me with the Raiders is no chance do I think he goes at pick 13, nor would I want to take him at 13. But if you have the opportunity to get him in the 20s because you traded up, maybe that's a player to target. If he falls to the 30s and it's a guy that you really, really like, maybe it's an opportunity to make a move there. Let's go to number 4 here, and it's Amarius Mims from Georgia. And if you told me, Mitch, who legitimately has the highest upside that might not go in the top 10, my answer is probably Amarius Mims here from Georgia. I mean, he's incredible to me from a combination of size, length, the athletic ability. It's all there, right? The problem is it's the very limited experience. He's just got 8 career starts. And when you're talking about taking a dude in the top 20 that's only started 8 games, right? Like, that goes against all my red flags of why I knew Trey Lance was going to be a bust, why I don't like somebody like, oh my God, his name is escaping me right now, at the quarterback position. That's not important. J.J. McCarthy was going to be what I was going to say based on, like, the limited throws that he's had from the NFL spot. But his upside is sky high. He just needs a lot of work. Like, I do think that he would be able to beat out Munford in for week 1. But there is that part of me that's like, could he struggle early on? And if you ruin his confidence, are you just taking a player then that's like to doom you? Like, if I'm the Raiders and why I have him ranked at 4, I also think out of all these players that I've talked about going in round 1, the name that might be the most highly to bust is Mims, and you cannot afford to take a round 1 bust if you're AP and Telesco. Now, some names that you're not going to see on today's show, the first one is Olu Fashanu, because he's a top 10 pick to me. And I've also said on this show that the only player that I am willing to trade up for is a quarterback. I'm not trading up for Olu, and I know if you were to tell me if there was one player that the Raiders trade up for that's not a QB, my guess would be Joe Alt, because based on Telesco and his connections with Notre Dame offensive tackle prospects, Joe Alt's going to go in the top 10. Olu Fashanu are going to go in the top 10. And because I'm so confident in that, and these are the 2 best offensive tackle prospects in this year's class, in my opinion, I'm not going to put them on this show because they're not going to be there at pick number 13. But here's my question of the nation out there. Who's the best tackle in the draft? If you think it's Olu, I want you to type OF. If you think it's Joe Alt, I want you to type JA. If you believe that it's somebody else, that's okay. Say it with your chest. I want to see what you have to say, because if you think it's somebody else, then I think you're really going to like the remainder here of my show. For me, the best tackle in this year's draft is Joe Alt. Like, when I say best tackle, I'm talking player that's ready to go right now. Joe Alt's going to be a Pro Bowler. Joe Alt has the opportunity to be one of the best tackles in the NFL for a long time. Olu might have the highest upside out of any of them because of his just stature and because of his athletic ability. Also, though, both of those guys are playing on the left side. And if the Raiders ended up drafting either of them, I would actually have them play on the left side and kick Colton Miller over to the right side. Let's go to number 3 here. This might be the best value out of all the offensive tackles for the Raiders. And I might be leaning here a little bit higher to Roger Rosengarten for the simple fact of, if the Raiders take Michael Penix Jr., this guy's probably going to be number 1 on my list because, well, it's the best chance of you finding a legit starting offensive tackle late in the rounds, like Rosengarten, who also has experience playing with Penix, but very, very smart player. And I will bet on intelligence at the offensive line position a lot of the times. Like, if you were to tell me, Mitch, would you rather have a very athletic and dumb offensive lineman or a very smart and not as athletic lineman? I'm actually going to take the intelligent one because I think it's one of the positions that we don't talk nearly enough about, but the intelligence level that you need to have to play O-line at this level, it's so important. Like, I will say his tape really struggled against Michigan. Am I worried? Is he going to struggle at the NFL level because he's not athletic enough? Yes, I am worried about that. But 0 sacks allowed in 28 games the past 2 seasons, protecting Michael Penix Jr.'s blind side. And because of that, I believe if you can get this guy, I don't love the idea of taking him at pick 77, but there are some people that think that he is going to go in round 3. In a perfect world, we get him at 112. Like, in a perfect world, I would take him in the 4th round. We'll see where he ends up going. There's other people out there that think that also he might just be an offensive guard because of his inability to be as athletic that you need to be at the offensive tackle position. However, though, if I'm the Raiders and you really, truly believe that right tackle is a big need, like if anybody out there said, hey, I am 5 and below on my confidence level on Thayer Munford, here's the part of the show that you should watch. Let's go with J.C. Latham from Alabama. And I don't want to hear, Mitch, we shouldn't take an Alabama offensive lineman. We shouldn't take an Alabama right tackle early on. Shouldn't happen. I don't want to hear it. J.C. Latham is so much of a better prospect than Alex Leatherwood ever was. I mean, we didn't even have a first-round grade on Leatherwood. Latham, we do have a first-round grade on here at Chat Sports. He is a bulldozer of a human being. Like, he's just unbelievably strong. He beats the shit out of people on a daily freaking basis, and it shows up on tape. Like, if you were to tell me, Mitch, our offensive line is the best in the NFL in 2-3 years from now, I think it's because the Raiders drafted Latham, and he ended up working out to his ability. Because you put him on the right side, I'm telling you, dude's going to destroy people. And he's operated in a bunch of different run schemes from Bama, which I like. And I do think that he could be a legit Pro Bowl player at offensive tackle and at offensive guard at the next level. He's 6'6", 360 pounds. Think about how big of a human being that is with his athletic ability. Nobody wants to go up against Jay. I mean, nobody does. And if you can run behind him with this type of offense, the way that this team wants to play, if the Raiders have the opportunity to take Latham at 13 and this next guy's off the board, including Joe Olt's off the board, including Olu Fashano's off the board, I'd be very happy with a pick like Latham. So here's my final question before I show you the number one offensive tackle that the Raiders should draft at pick number 13. And the reason why he's the number one is because I think he's going to be there. I don't think you're going to have to trade up for him. And best player available. To me, the best player available, and this is me saying I would probably take him over a Terrion Arnold. I would probably take him over a Michael Penix Jr. because I want somebody to really solidify this offensive line. And the number one player that if I'm the Raiders, if I'm going to take an offensive tackle because I don't got to trade up for him based on fit, his name is Taliese Fuaga. And I think he is an absolute dog at the right tackle position. And call me a sucker for this. When we were at the NFL Combine, we had the opportunity to interview the Oregon State tackle. And he said he's got a bunch of family members that are Raider fans. Like, are you telling me if you get drafted by the team that your family roots for, you're not going to go in there and put in a little extra work? On top of that, I root for Taliese because he kind of looks like Rebel Montana. So I'm going to root for this guy to be an absolute dog for the silver and black. His pass protection technique is outstanding. His run game technique does need a little work, but like what I love about his technique a lot of times, especially in the run game, is this is a dude that's literally trying to embarrass you every snap, and I respect the hell out of it. Like, I said it before in a joking matter that he reminds me of Jermaine Illuminor on steroids. Obviously, he doesn't take them, but like, imagine Jermaine, and now you just have the better version of him with Taliese. He is violent. He is a tone setter. He's somebody, you get done playing 4 quarters of football, and you're like, holy shit, dude. Like, my body hurts. 0 sacks allowed, 2 years at Oregon State, and they didn't have outstanding quarterback play there by any stretch of the imagination. 6'6", 335 pounds, the way he moves, the way he hits people, the mindset, the mentality. If you add Taliese to your offensive tackle group next to Colton Miller, like, my perfect offensive line for the Raiders this season is Colton Miller at left tackle, left guard, call me crazy, Thayer Munford, Andre James at center, right guard Dylan Parham, Taliese Fuaga at right tackle. That's the best offensive line in the NFL. If you don't agree, come at me at Mitchell Renz 365. So let's go through these offensive tackle targets one more time here. And again, if you want to take a screenshot, if you want to share them on social media, you can do so at Mitchell Renz 365. Twitter, IG, I'm ready for all the haters and losers to come at me. But hey, I do like making these shows a lot. I'm excited for the NFL draft. And if you don't already know, Jeremy Chuggs and I, we're going to be live on draft night. All 7 rounds. Every single pick. A lot of giveaways, a lot of fun. And I'm telling you what, we've done a lot of crazy stuff on this show. I have a feeling this NFL draft is going to be the craziest that we have ever seen in Raiders Report history. All right, Jeremy, all the segments are done. Who you got, Troy Williams or James Guevara? We got we got 2 Final Four races to do here on today's show. We got 2 Final Four races to do on today's show.
Should I call out the bat signal for beer bongs or?
Nah, we'll figure. I might have to periodically through the week do some. I got another boot in me. I'm probably gonna have to take a pee. But who do you guys got? And I'm not doing shot clock. I don't want to do fireball. I don't want to do fireball. I got to stick to beer and beer only. I can't, dude. My body is.
My mind's telling me no.
But my body. Also, I want to give some shout-outs here to some people that are in our duck race here.
Buddy Bear
Joshua
said-
Melton in.
Buddy Bear said the draft is when he started watching this show 2 years ago.
Anthony Green is in.
I didn't know that, Buddy
And then
Bear.
David Zahn, I'm going to give 3 entries to.
I did not realize that, Buddy Bear.
Which means right now, $20 Venmo, you would win $430. Not bad.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'll do that race at the very end of today's show.
The very, very end.
Or should we save the last race for
March Madness.
All right.
I think
Mitch
so.
is going to do the boot. He's going to use the restroom. After he uses the restroom, we're going to do the 50-50 raffle. After the 50-50 raffle, we'll do our March Madness races. And somebody's walking away. We're going to give over $2,000 away on today's show. Between the 50-50 raffle and our March Madness race, $1,600. $1,600 to one of these lucky folks right here. David Zahn,
Right,
Jose Corona, Troy Williams, or James Guevara. And then our duck race is going wild today as well. So if you want to get in, have a chance to win some money, honey, at Mitchell Renz 365 on Venmo, $20 to enter. We also have a couple super chats that are rolling on through. Rebel Montana, a.k.a. Marshall's dad. Mitch, 615 area code. Hi, Marianne. 1 fireball. And then we have Mount Raidermore, Brandon Jasper. Me and Zahn are going to put in for the legend R. Ron. Mr. Raider Ron. Zahn, I know rules are rules, but Mitch said no. Mitch said no. So no shot clock, no tuna clock for Mitch. He said no. But you can get in on our 50-50 raffle. Your last chance to get in. We're about to do it here in a second. I see Mitch walking down the hallway right now. He's about to come into into the studio. Last chance to get in.
I'm back. All right, who we got here? I got OC Raider. Accidentally put OC Fader. In. I see Hunter Jackson. You in. Mr. Moshav. You in. And then Tuna, I'm going to give you 3 in. And then, I got Jamari Murray, you in, which means right now, winner, $20 Venmo gets $500.
All right.
We could also do this, though. We could do the 2, we could do, the 2 Final Four races.
Okay. I get what you're putting down. 2 Final Four.
That way we could separate them a little bit. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Also, like I said, we owe, how many more for I owe 21 beer bongs by Friday.
All right.
21 beer bongs by Friday. I'm going to do another boot today, which.
Another one?
I'm going to try, dude. I mean, I just peed, and I feel like I already have to pee again. It's going to be nuts.
All right.
Graf just tweeted, I'll be live at Mitch Show this Friday.
All right. This is our first Final Four matchup winner. Races in. Dude, I can't even believe. Do I go?
Do what?
Actually, you know what?
Anthony Green in. Aaron Winnick in.
I say for the last 3 races, we go 45 seconds. Should we do that?
Charles G in. What's up? See, my only problem with this is I don't like the idea of making the race longer because they don't make the game longer. You know what I mean? I get it's a bigger game. What would you guys do? I'll ask the people here. Hopefully the people that are in the Final Four are watching right now because you got a shot to win $1,600.
30 seconds or 45 seconds? Type 30 or 45. What should we do?
I'll say this. If we go to 45 for the Final Four, we're doing a 60-second duck race for the finale.
Yeah. Oh, they're all saying 30. Okay.
See, I feel like
I'll put it back. All right.
Anthony Green in, Aaron Winnick in. $20 Venmo right now, you would win $530.
All right. This, for a chance.
For a chance at the title, David Zahn, Jose Corona, winner plays in the Natty. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. The 9th seed, Jose Corona, falls back to David Zahn. He's got a little bit of a lead. I'll tell you what, I like where Corona is at right now. Zahn starting to fall back here a little bit. 16 seconds to go. Dude, if I'm Zahn, I'm sweating. I think Corona's going to have this one. Who's going to turn on the NOS at the right time? Corona taking the lead. Zahn! This is so close! Zahn survives and advances.
Wow.
This is April. Bro. That's insanity, man.
David Zahn.
David Zahn is one race away from $1,600.
Oh, my goodness.
That's nuts. I mean, what's crazy is, think about how often the number 1 seed wins, like in the actual March Madness tournament. It doesn't happen often. In a game that's literally just all odds, and Zahn, how many races have you actually won for money? I don't think he's ever won an actual duck race for money. Imagine if Zahn gets all the way to the title match and loses. I mean, honest question, Dave. Like, I don't think you've ever won an actual duck race for money. Off the top of my memory, I don't know.
All right.
I agree that Zahn deserves it, but at the same time, the fact that this is totally random and the actual number 1 seed made it to the final, that's kind of nuts, dude.
We only have one more thing to do. Find out who he's going to be facing in the final game. James Guevara, Troy Williams.
So you're saying there's a chance. So winner of this
faces David Zahn in the championship.
Dude, that's insanity.
Mitch, you want to count us down?
1 second here. Eric Mitchell, you are in. Eric Mitchell, you're in. I would love to count us down. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Oh, man, Guevara. Williams is... See, that's the thing, though. Zahn also had to lead the start, and he ended up winning.
James falling back.
I like where Guevara's at. I think Guevara has the right speed here.
Troy,
though, Troy's not giving up. 8 seconds.
Final
Somebody's
stretch.
got to turn it on. Winner goes up against David Zahn.
3.
I think it's going to be Troy Williams.
Wow.
We got the 1 seed David Zahn up against the 12 seed Troy Williams. Winner goes home with $1,600.
Wow.
I do want to say, though, to Jose Corona, a.k.a. JC Does It, and to James Guevara, 2 people that watch this show all the time, I hope you all had fun. I hope it was worth every single penny. I hope that we can continue to do this in the future. Man, oh man, it was insanity. Oh! Rebel Montana! Bang! What up, Rebel? Only one member from the Silver and Black Hills gang that hasn't done this. Mitch, what area code is 615 for 1 fireball shot? The 615. Oh, boy, Rebel.
I only know this, and I feel like I'll know this for the rest of my life because Rebel asks it all the time.
See, I feel like I should know it then.
You should.
I know this. I know for a fact it's not Montana. I've said that 100 times. My guess, I always feel like there's somebody that always asks this question, and I always want to say like Kentucky or Tennessee. The problem is, though, I don't know which one it is. I'm going to go with my gut here, Rebel. I'm going to go with Kentucky. It was the other one.
It was Tennessee.
Damn it! I knew it was in that area. Oh, dang it.
Oh. You were right there.
We were so close, man. We were so close.
Oh, wow. Sperry getting off a little early because he didn't walk outside for 10 minutes.
I mean, maybe. Have we figured out how to say Taliese's name? Yeah, I think I got it. Oh boy, what a day.
All right, last chance for real to get in our 50-50 raffle. Was there anybody else?
Oh, dude. I saw Eric Mitchell got in. I got Timothy is in. Timothy Acker, which means winner's getting $550, which is insanity, man. Absolute insanity. Dude, what a day. Rebel Montana. Can we get the 420 likes for Raider Ron, David Zahn? Can we get the 420? Yeah, I'll tell you what right now. I feel good. I feel almost too good. I'm going to do one more boot, which it's not going to be easy, which puts me down, Jeremy, to where are we a team? I think the answer is yes. All right, we got 19. We got 19 for Friday, by Friday. That's a big debt.
Oh.
It's a heavy debt to be paid. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to probably go take a pee after this, and then we got another one to go. Got another one to go. Whew.
Today has just been a total shit show. A total shit show. In the best possible way. Whew. Mitch has taken down some liquid today. Let me go pee. Let me go pee. Oh my God. Never fails. Also, Crash, I like the new profile pic. He said, "What's up, fam? I'm up." Did I miss any big news? No, but I can go down the rundown of basically what we talked about on today's show. Besides, Navman, the thing you missed the most was Raider Nation went absolutely insane. Mitch gave a deal, which maybe he regrets. And they just went absolutely nuts. But what we talked about on today's show, the latest Raiders news and rumors, Jayden Daniels reports are the Commanders are closing into basically the idea of drafting Jayden Daniels at number 2 in this year's draft, meaning the Raiders' chances of trading up in the draft go down just a little bit. We also talked about some more top 30 visits, also a rumor around Dalton Risner being signed by the Raiders in free agency, filling that gap that they have at the guard position after releasing DJ Fluker. Mitch also broke down one player he thinks the Raiders will trade this offseason, or the most likely player the Raiders could trade this offseason. And also, we talked the top 10 offensive tackles for the Raiders in this year's draft. Not overall the top 10 best tackles. The top 10 tackles in the draft based on draft position, where the Raiders would have to take them, and the fit in the Raiders scheme. The top 10 tackles for the Raiders, which you can watch all this back on live or in our videos that we put out throughout the week. So that's basically what you missed, Crash Dog, but it was an absolute job. Brandon Jasper, boot for Raider Ron, Friday's on, and I put up him. Brandon, I don't know what you're... I don't know what Boot for Raider. Are you saying this boot is for Raider Ron? Because I'm confused. I don't know.
Oh, boot for Raider Ron. Friday Friday's on, and I put up him. I'm going to be honest. I'm not really sure. I'm not very sure. I want to say who.
Are you saying you put Ron in the duck race?
Got another one in here. Amy in. Amy in. All right. Looks like also Mr. LA Crash Dog in. Okay. That means winner is getting $570. And then we have another race, and that's for $1,600. That's the granddaddy of them all. All right, Jeremy, I'm going to send you the list here. I think people have waited long enough.
Did you check it twice?
I did check it twice. All right. I'm going to send this to you. Today has been a whirlwind. Today has been a whirlwind, man. I'll tell you that. And then either Troy Williams or David Zahn is going to win $1,600. But reminder to Troy and to David that you're going to get that money from my boss. So it's going to say James Yoder.
James Yoda.
Yada. Oh, I see what So Brandon's saying me and Zahn Venmo'd 100 total for Ron for his jersey.
For Ron Raspberry?
No, I think Ron because I'm wearing his jersey. But I took that as Zahn and Brandon putting their entry in for the duck race. So I would say that's on me. But they're already in. So I don't want to take all those entries out because then that lessens the pot that some people already put money in for, if that makes sense. So I took that as you guys sent in a 50 to get in this duck race.
Yeah.
That's on me. I didn't know that. That's on me. All right, so we got some people here watching. Graf also. Yeah, Zahn, I actually talked to Ron over the weekend, which I know people in Mount Raidermore know with our group chat, but Ron's doing a lot of dealing with some stuff here. Ron's a goat. He'll be back soon.
All right, this is for
$570.
Correct.
$570.
You ready?
I am ready. 3, 2, 1. Run it. Literally, run it. Winner of this race gets 570. Loser gets a butthole pick. Whoever comes in last place. Won't tell you who it's from. Right now, Aaron Winnick, Amy in a very interesting spot. 93 Nabman, I believe, is Pikachu. I believe is what that is.
Yeah, I think that's a Pikachu.
And I think Squirtle's also right there, which...
That's Tuna.
That is the great Tuna. Philip Bogert here in an interesting spot. Jose Corona. I really like the Jamari Murrays are in a good spot. That Rick Hand, Raider Sancho, I think, is in a good spot. Uh-oh, wait a minute here.
Dude, Aaron's
been running a hell of a race. I hope he doesn't fall behind. Watch out for Amy. Watch out for Philip Bogert. Steve okay? Is Steve more than okay? If Aaron, oh my Lord, who's this? Charles G from nowhere.
Wow.
Charles G. Holy shit. Charles, the winner of $570. $270. Charles G. Charles, can you please confirm with everybody that you just received $570? Oh. I just had Daniel. Daniel, yours came in a little late. Daniel, I'm so sorry. Dude, shout out to Charles G.
This last one, 30 seconds as well, was Zahn and Troy, right?
Dude, this is going to be nuts.
This last one's, we still want 30 seconds?
What's up?
We still want 30 seconds with this last one?
I mean, what do you guys want? David and Troy, I hope you're both watching. David, I know you're here. Troy, are you here? You guys want a 30-second race or a 60-second race? For the Natty, the winner of this gets $1,600.
They're still saying 30.
I mean,
keep it at 30? Okay. I just wanted to double check. All right.
All right, so
they said you can't change it for the end. Okay, that's fair.
That's kind of that's my thought process here. Oh, dude, we're bringing out the big dogs. All right, dude. So that means this is actually insanity. All right, hang on. I want somebody, by the way, I really want somebody to take a video of this, post it. I mean, it's going to be iconic. This is one of the biggest giveaways we've ever done here on this show, and I'm kind of nervous. David Zahn, Troy Williams. You ready?
I'm ready. Final race.
Is Troy here? Like, I would enjoy this more if I knew Troy's here. Troy, are you here?
Troy, can you hear me?
Is Troy here? Dungeon. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. It's Dungeon. All right, so winner of this gets $1,600.
He's like, you think I would miss this?
So a friendly reminder again, you're going to get a Venmo from my boss. It won't be from me. Give him like 24 hours. That way he can send it to you, okay? Good luck, David Zahn. Good luck, Troy Williams. $1,600 on the line right now. Unless you want to split it. I'm just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Good luck. And here we go. Troy Williams is out to the early lead. But you know what? David Zahn's right there. And I think if this race ended right now, Zahn would have a little bit of a lead. We're about halfway through. Zahn, the 1 seed, with the lead. Winner gets $1,600.
10 seconds!
10 seconds to go. David
Troy!
Zahn, Troy Williams.
Zahn!
Zahn! I think it's going to be Zahn. David Zahn! Bang!
Unbelievable!
I mean,
what a race to win your first one.
That's the first time Zahn's ever won money on this show. Zahn just won $1,600. I mean, I'll say this right now. That's crazy. For the number 1 seed in our bracket to win that entire thing.
Only 2 number 1 seeds made it out of the first week.
I know, Trivan and Chef.
I think they both lost.
Trivan and Chef lost week 1. Patrick B and Zahn ended up getting the win. I mean, unbelievable. Congratulations.
I kind of wish Zahn would.
Zahn.
I kind of wish Zahn would use the money to go to Disney World. I'm not gonna lie.
Zahn's like, all right, I'm gonna go to Disney World. Yeah, so Dave, I'm going to send it to my boss, James, but
Wow.
we have your info basically already. So,
That's nuts.
dude, that's I thought he was going to lose. Also, I mean, Troy Williams, I hope that you still had fun. Like, believe me when I tell you, I know it probably sucks. What?
Look at what Sienna said.
Sienna said, Gimmel. Bro, no. If this was during Hanukkah, I'd say let's freaking roll it. But I'm not going to do that. Zahn gets to keep it. That's amazing. Rebel, you're right. Troy does get something out of it. So next year when we do the March.
Holy shit!
What?
Zahn thought he was the other dog and thought he lost this whole time. I don't know how.
What? So.
He said, I'm a little drunk. I thought I lost.
Oh. This is.
I am too drunk to taste this chicken.
That's insane. You guys do get something. Troy and David both. You guys both get in our March Madness next year. So I wanted to figure out a way to do something. So you guys, I'm going to cover your fee to get into our March Madness race next year. So again, that was, I'm glad we were able to do that. I know like we created the idea around it, obviously back when March Madness kind of started, but I don't think it could have happened again, no disrespect to Troy, but for everything Dave has done, obviously recently, I mean, you guys saw it today, but like even back, so many years ago where David was watching the show doing crazy shit, like there's nobody I would have rather have won that money from this show. Like that's insane.
David just said, dude, it's going to be a rough Friday for you.
You don't mean that. Dave, honestly, just put it in your bank and just give it to somebody else.
Put it all into Doge.
I am. Yeah, somebody just said. So 35 bongs from Fridays on. I sure hope not. But from me, from Jeremy Chuggs, I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys did too. From the sounds of it, Friday's show is going to be something insanity. And you know what? Let's freaking do one. Let's just add it to the list here. 93 Navman Bang! Jeremy, if we get one more, I'll do a boot. And if we get one more, that would put us at 21, minus 3, 18 to go for Friday. I will say I'm done after that. There's no way that I would possibly be able to do anything.
Before we go on for the rest of the week, this deal does not apply tomorrow and Thursday as well.
Yeah, no, it's a Monday special only.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, there's no way.
All right.
If
you haven't already, hit that sub button.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man, what a day. What a day. Oh, what a day.
Oh.
Just need to know if I beat Zahn in the 50-50 for the side bet. Congrats to David on the big win. Seems down in the 50-50. Oh, man. Navman adding to the list here. All right, I'm saving them all for Friday. We're 3 likes away from 420. Zahn, Navman, dude, I mean, Ira, Rebel. Today was one of the craziest Monday shows I've ever done.
Navman said, make sure to reread my super. He said, just so you know, if I beat David Zahn in the 50-50 for the side bet, congrats to David on the big win. Seems I chased him down in the 50-50. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not going to lie. I just read that.
I'm not going to lie. I also didn't check where everyone was. We can run just y'all two tomorrow.
Just a
Zon versus Navman.
Zon versus Navman race. All right. Sounds good to me.
All right.
You ready?
For me and
I
you.
gotta go. I'm cooked.